welcome to episode 459 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for June 15th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Oh, man, so we're done with all the Summer Game Fest, the big conference. Well, somewhat done, because Nintendo still has one that's happening at
tangentially
some time.
related.
Yeah. But really, like, the Summer Game Fest stuff is pretty much over, so we got a lot to discuss there. Overall, I mean, it's pretty cool to see what games are potentially coming out. A lot of indie studios, I will say that. But I think that's the trend I think we're going, is that, like, because as more companies, either shut down or consolidate, or whatever, like, it's really just, just a few. I mean, it's not as many big game companies as we're used to seeing. Yeah. And, like, I mean, Activision is part of Microsoft, so that's what I consider, like, that's all Microsoft now. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, maybe we can separate it, but it's not like their own thing. It's not
they
their own
did
company.
try and, like, say, hey guys, we're separate, because, like, before each trailer it was like Bethesda presents, Activision presents. Yeah. It's like, no, you're not fooling anybody. You're just Xbox. Come on, stop wasting my time.
You're still just. I mean, you're still part of that brand. It's not the same as, like, saying Capcom or Square Enix and things of that nature, EA. So but there was a lot of. I mean, they even have dedicated shows now, with just indie games, basically. All that, but
several shows.
Multiple.
Which maybe
shows
isn't a good idea. Like, I feel like there's so much that just gets lost in the sauce. Like, I get why you would want to gather around when, like, everybody's talking about video games. But, like, maybe we need to get to a point where it's like, okay, first quarter is Xboxes, and then you're going to have this indie show around that time. Second quarter is PlayStation's. They're going to have this indie showcase around their time. And then Nintendo and their indie showcase. Like, something like that, where it's like you don't have all the big companies and then also all the indies talking at the same time, because then it just becomes noise, I feel like.
Well, I mean, the indies probably just have to separate themselves then.
But that's not my only. I was thinking about that too, but, like, it feels like when they did that III thing a couple of months ago or last month or however long ago it was now, it feels like that just doesn't get enough attention. So I get, like, trying to get the mainstream while they're talking about, like, the bigger things. Or you just need bigger indie announcements. You need your, like, Silk Songs to stick with the indies and not, step up into the Xbox showcase or the Nintendo Direct. It needs to be like, hey guys, remember where you came from. You got to support us, and all the small developers coming up behind you, like, pull us up with you.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be some sponsorship. I mean, like, what they have, like, with this one, with these shows. I don't really know, because that means you would have to either partner with the Microsoft, and they already have their partnership, but you won't be able to get all those games you want, because they're not going to do it for all of them.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to do your own show when they do theirs, but they don't announce their show sometimes, they announce it sometimes pretty closely. They don't announce it so ahead of time where you can be ready. So what? It's like you just have a show on tape ready, just waiting to see, like, okay, who's going to come up and just going to just put this out there, like, after they have their show or something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they already do partnerships, I know, with each company, but I mean, I think it just has to be. I think it's just, they're just gonna get lost in the sauce, but that's just gonna happen. I mean, it's too many companies. I mean, it's too many games. Yeah. Something's gonna get lost. You just gotta hope yours isn't. I mean, I don't think there's anything you can do about that.
No.
I think that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, that's just the way it goes. I think it's fine. Like, if you game get lost, and I can't remember everything that comes out. I remember some things, but somebody's gonna probably find a gem,
Yeah.
and they like, and hey, you just hope that it happens. I mean, I think you're always rolling the dice with this, but I think it's the only chance you can. I mean, it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
Get yourself on a bigger stage.
So I guess we get down. We can go quickly to sports. But sports with me is Orioles. They're still doing great. They're behind the Yankees. They're playing Phillies right now. They, as of this podcast, they lost the first game against the Phillies. It went to extra innings, and there was like a delay because of rain, so it went later. But they ended up losing to the Phillies. I forgot the final score was, but it was a good pitching game. Anyway, I mean, like the bats really didn't get going for either team. Really, the O's actually came back to tie it, and man, they I'm trying to remember what they did at the end, but yeah, it was. I mean, it's the Phillies are a tough team. The Phillies are like it's like the Phillies, Yankees, and then the Orioles are the top three teams in the league, and I think it's the Yankees or the Phillies who are number one and with the best record. I don't know which one, but yeah, they those are the top teams in the league. So, and the ballpark was based. Now I don't know if Friday was sold out. I know Saturday and Sunday was already sold out for like a little over a week because of people. Because one being Phillies, and then it's the Father's Day weekend. So, that's just like that was just a bit that's really sells it because Philadelphia is just down the street. So I mean, I said down the street, like well, it's just an hour or so away.
Yeah,
and then you have probably Philly fans most likely coming down. Then of course the Orioles fans want to see, and then the Phillies are a good team, and the Orioles are a good team, so it's just a good mixture for a great weekend. I'm hoping the O's can at least win these next two games. I was really hoping they'd steal the first one, but they couldn't get it done. But the O's they're looking good. Like I'm enjoying it. I know Cedric Mullins I've been rooting for to get better. He's gotten better lately. Like he's actually gotten on base and some hits. So I'm glad that showing because he was really struggling. Another guy who came back from injury, Hayes, has been on since he's come back from injury. The O's team, man, it's been great, and they had some injuries on for pitching, but the pitching's been good. Like most of the games that they lose is that they didn't get hits. It's not the pitching, which is very odd. Like I'm always used to like the pitching failing, like the pitching just get up too many runs,
right,
or something like that. And people be getting upset. Like it'd be like a game where the Orioles might just score 3 runs or something, but they got the lead, but then somebody gives up a run. I'm thinking people get angry, so like, oh man, he blew it. And it was like, dude, a pitcher's going to give up a run or so a lot, man. You can't. I'm sorry, you're not going to win. Like some games, yes, you could probably hold off for 3 runs, but it's gonna. In baseball, you gotta at least get 5 or more. I say if you get 5, like if you get 5 runs or more, and then the pitcher like blows a lead or something, then yeah, you can get mad at the pitching or something. But I'm like, if you're holding like just like 3-2 or 2-1, I was like, man, they're gonna score. I mean, these guys are good. I mean, these teams. I mean, they got good players on the other team too. Like, I'm just happy that they're even holding to a low score. Like now, it's just our bats. I mean, overall team is still good. Like even though people complain about certain aspects of the team, but it's like, dude, we're like the 3rd best team in the league, like record wise. It's like, come on. It's actually not that. It's not really that bad, and it's baseball. You don't win all the games. You got 162 games, so yeah, we're fine. All-Star votes are happening right now. I know they have it set up so you can vote like 9 times a day for whatever players you want to vote for. I think I voted once. I always do that. I like every year. I mean, not every year, but every time if I do vote for the All-Star game, I never vote. I never do like the max. I always just vote once. I just do like a normal ballot because I don't know. I'm just not into it like that. I mean, I do want players to win, but I'm like, hey, I'll just put my one vote in and hope that somebody who has time to waste, and to keep doing that, to keep voting for those players or whatever. Yeah, but I'm feeling like the Orioles should have more than last year. Last year they had 4 players. I'm feeling like this year we should at least have 2 more. I say 6. I say we should have 6 players at least to go to the All-Star game. That's I say starting, just going, like just at least going. We should have a few starters though. I think Gunnar Henderson should be starting. Adley Rutschman should be starting. Actually, see Gunnar, I gotta know who's the other shortstop in the American League that could possibly replace Gunnar, but I don't think so. I think it should be Gunnar. Adley Rutschman should be starters for the All-Star team as of right now, anyway. Other things. Oh yeah, basketball. We are in the finals. By the time you hear this podcast, the finals probably be over. Maybe. Right now, Dallas did avoid the sweep. They won game 4. So they're still in it. The NBA was like, yeah, it's like they didn't want that sweep. They need to get all the money they can. It looks like Boston's going to win. So Boston's going to the team that has the most NBA championships in front of the Lakers. Looks like they're about to get another one. And I don't know who will win right now, I think Tatum would win, but it all depends what happens in the next game also. I feel like between Tatum and Brown, whoever has the bigger game will be MVP of the finals. Yeah, it's just that when you look at Dallas, I mean, honestly, Dallas winning one game to me is somewhat. I mean, if you're a person who likes to keep seeing some good games, or this with the series to go longer, this is good at least one. But they probably shouldn't have. I feel like Boston should sweep this team. Like they're just outmatch them. Dallas only has 2 players that can score, and they don't play defense, and they blew them out this game. See, and that's to me that's more suspicious than a close game win. Because that just tells me, like, well, how do you get blown out by this team? Like, I mean, I understand, like, if a team is on and they're scoring, I guess that's the only answer. It's like, oh, Dallas was scoring and you just missing. But honestly, they should have blown them out. They should blow them out. Like they did. The last game was I think it was a closer game. But like Boston should win. Like they shouldn't have Dallas shouldn't have blown out Boston, and Boston should probably swept them. Like, I mean, I'm surprised that Dallas actually won the series against Timberwolves. Like, I'm just guessing the Timberwolves must be for inexperience and how young they are. At least some of the stars are. Maybe that's why they lost against Dallas. 'Cause I don't know how they lost against Dallas, honestly, because Dallas doesn't play any defense. I mean, Luka's great. I mean, he's honestly great, but he's not a good defender. He's a great offensive player, though. I mean, he doesn't have to be a great defender, honestly, if you have other people who can play defense around him. Right. I mean, that's what they need. And most likely, maybe they'll get something to fix that next season. But yeah, it looks like Boston's going to take it, so good for them. Or maybe by the time I come to the podcast, I'll say like, oh, my God, Dallas actually came back and down 3 games, and they're the first NBA team to come back and win it. Maybe that'll happen. I mean, I doubt it. I mean, they should. If that happens, that's very questionable on Boston's part, because I'm like, what the hell happened to you guys? And anyway, hockey I haven't been paying attention to. I think the Panthers are favorite to win.
Okay.
I think is that Nashville? No, not Nashville.
Florida?
No, that's Nashville or something else. Is Florida, right?
Yeah, I think it's Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. Okay. So it's Florida, but it's not your Tampa Bay Lightning though, Daniel. So where is the Florida Panthers at?
Let's see. They're in Miami. It's not where I thought they were going to be.
Oh wow. Oh, so they kept Florida. They're the only team, to be Florida, because Marlins, they changed their name to Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
They were the Florida Marlins. Yeah, darn. they're they definitely probably won't give it to them because it's like I ain't gonna never. They was never supposed to win probably a championship. And they probably just gave them one. That's what's going on, Daniel. The unlikely places are winning championships because but yeah. So I think are they one leading? Are they leading the series?
They are. Let's say.
I know they're favored.
They are.
To win.
Florida's leading 3-0 over the Oilers right now.
Okay, so maybe they might split. But hey, in hockey, there actually have been teams that have come back down 3-1. Like that has happened in their history. So, but looks like Florida's going to take it. So another championship's coming to the state of Florida. When the Lightning's been dominant, at least the year before last, and so good for them. I think that's it for sports, really. I know football season. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the off season. I don't think anybody's gone to jail or anything. So, so what's going on in wrestling?
So there's a couple of exciting things that are happening in wrestling. Today is going to be the Clash at the Castle pay-per-view in Scotland for WWE. So
they're in the they're gonna fight in the castle.
Yep, they're gonna fight in a castle. I think the first one that they did was in it wasn't like a castle, but it was, I don't remember. It was like near a historic castle or something like that.
Oh, it seemed like a mansion or something.
Yeah. But they're doing Cody Rhodes versus AJ again. That'll be a good match. The last one was good. But I think the biggest thing is going to be Drew McIntyre, who's Scottish, of course, versus Damian Priest for the World Championship. It feels like after Drew McIntyre lost last year at Clash of the Castle, which was not in Scotland. I think it was in England. But it felt very like at home type thing. Then he lost there to Roman Reigns, and I feel like they've got to give it to him. Damian Priest isn't really doing anything as champion right now, but I would not be entirely surprised if they had CM Punk come back and screw Drew McIntyre again. They've been building that feud basically since before WrestleMania, and that's what cost Drew the title at WrestleMania, where he did win, but then got cashed in on by Damian Priest. I'd really like to see Drew with that title for an extended time, because when he won it previous to WrestleMania, where he only had it for a couple of minutes, it was during COVID, had no fans, so he never really got a chance to be out in front of fans as a champion. The other interesting thing that's happening in wrestling right now is NXT is having a crossover with TNA. So we're also seeing around this time, this is when AEW does their Forbidden Door pay-per-view, where it's like, okay, AEW stars versus New Japan stars or people from outside of the company, which kind of happens regularly. So it's not as big a deal as it kind of once was. But this is usually when you see the bigger New Japan stars, like you're going to see Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito, who was previously the New Japan champion, but currently it's Jon Moxley. But in a similar fashion now, we're starting to see TNA wrestlers show up in NXT and vice versa. So this is the first time that we're actually seeing, like, post Vince leaving, potentially like the full results of that. Like Triple H has shown that, you know, he's more willing to talk about other companies, talk about people coming from New Japan, having previous careers other places. And now we're actually seeing kind of a talent exchange between the two, which I think is very smart, and it's very clever. I mean, we saw a similar exchange when Kenny Omega was the TNA champion for a while there. Obviously, it works better with NXT level talent for WWE, because, like, I don't think they necessarily want, like, main roster guys losing to TNA guys, even though there's absolutely some talent over there that I think they would be willing to put over. Especially with the potential for them to eventually come into WWE. But to kind of have NXT as their sacrificial brand where you can have some of they're still not going to let their top stars lose. They just had a kind of pay-per-view style thing, a bigger NXT event. I think it was last weekend. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it though. Where Jordynne Grace, who is the women's champion in TNA, faced Roxanne Perez. And of course there was kind of a wonky finish to it. So, Jordynne Grace lost, but for reasons, outside interference and whatnot. So it didn't make her look bad or anything like that. Yeah, but that's kind of where wrestling is right now. There's a lot of cross promotional stuff, and that's really interesting. So it's pretty cool right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so where are we at here? What we've been watching? Yeah. So I know you watched a lot of Milk. I'm trying to think of something. What have I watched? And
South Park. You want to talk about that at all? I haven't finished it.
I mean, if you haven't finished it, then just wait, because technically I didn't finish it either.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
But okay, well, just say this. How do you like it so far, what you're watching?
I'm at the part where the moms are trying to take over the truck that's bringing in the weight loss drugs.
Okay, but how you liking it? Like, let's say, how you like
just to give you context for where I'm at.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it seems fine. I think it's kind of funny that the moms, get on these drugs that they don't need to be on. You see what they're going for, kind of chastising them.
Well, that's why I can't get my damn medicine, Daniel.
Well, that's the thing. So they're they're kind of talking about what's going on. I mean, that's what South Park does. They talk about, current events with a kind of comedic take on it. The Cartman stuff isn't really doing anything for me, even though he's supposed to be like the sympathetic character for it. It's not weird to choose him because he's obviously the one that you would choose with this storyline. But at the same time, with how bad a person he is in general, like to try and make him. The only reason
he wants to get skinny is where he can.
That's true. Just so he can make fun of everyone
people.
Else. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they're making him bad because he's even though he said, "Hey, it's working," but he's still eating like shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's just eating less.
Yes. The Oppenheimer.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's okay. It was okay what I seen, and I'm gonna, because I haven't watched. I mean, I haven't gone back to it in a while. That episode, and I didn't finish it, so I gotta go back, and I'm probably gonna start in the middle or something because I forgot some stuff. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It is dealing with something that's kind of current, and I wonder what's like going on with South Park. Like, are they going to have seasons anymore? Or are they going to do these specials, which I'm fine with?
Yeah.
If they just do these specials every now and then, I mean, I think that's okay. I mean, I'm just curious. Yeah, what's the
Yeah, because it's almost like then you don't have to worry so much about filler, stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing less episodes also.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about. Well, sometimes they would take a break and then be like, "Oh man, come on." Like when are you coming back? And then so I'm okay with these specials coming out. But yeah, this one, I want to add of all the specials that come out, I would think is probably closer to the bottom. I don't know. I mean, I have to think of something that's worse because I can't think of one of the specials that's one I just didn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those COVID ones that were okay. But yeah, I would have to look at it again. But this one it doesn't compare to definitely the one before that one, and some of the COVID ones. Now, what was one before that? I think the one before that I really liked. I forgot what it was about.
Was that the Disney one, the merger one, or the Kathleen Kennedy one? Rather?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think I still like the Disney one better, even though that was okay too. Yeah, well, never mind then. It was maybe it's the one before that one that was really good. It was something that was really good. I thought was really funny because usually was saying it was funny too. Maybe it was the one before the Kathleen Kennedy one.
Specials. Let's see. Of course, they're not going to make it easy for me to find just a list of the specials. Where is it?
Was that
specials?
The one
joining the Pandaverse, not suitable for children. There was that one.
Yeah, not suitable for children. I think that's what
the credible, the cred one.
Yeah,
prime one, essentially.
All right, so Laudermilk. So I finished the series off, but you're in season 3, which is the final season of the show, and hopefully the popularity of Netflix can help it so it can get another season.
Definitely, because it's like you said, and you having seen it have a little more context for it, but yeah, it feels like you have these characters that they do a good job of pretty quickly establishing is what seems like they will be main characters, and then they just kind of disappear. And the show has enough going on that it's not like distracting. But then when you go back and you like think about it, it's like, man, what happened with this person and that person? And it's like you said, like the masseuse, and it's like, well, I kind of forgot about her. But at the same time, if I think back to that episode, yeah, it seemed like she was going to be there for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Because she said she moved or something, and so she came to AA here. And she helped him with his back and everything, and then it was also some little something. She almost building because the way he looked at her, and then it kind of I didn't see her anymore after that episode.
Or like, they're just like to be these side stories with like the one guy in the AA group who committed a crime, I will say, without spoiling it too much.
Yeah,
and like he's kind of been there the entire time, I feel like, or at least
you see him. Yeah, you always see them. He's just one of those guys that didn't talk.
Yeah, and then just all of a sudden he becomes like the focal point of this one episode, and then kind of I think for a second episode a little bit, and then of course, I mean, that makes sense as to why he disappears, but it's kind of weird that like they don't utilize him, then all of a sudden he's kind of the focal point, and then I mean, it all serves its purpose. Like it's all still very good, it's well written, it's funny, but at the same time it's like it feels like there's so much potential that isn't necessarily being fulfilled, you know?
Yeah, like the first season with the Cutter incident, I understand because of what happened off screen. So I totally understand with that story, but I wonder what was the idea. Like, what was the idea? Was there an idea that you had something going for these characters, or was it always just going to be, it was just this episode and nothing there after that? But overall series, man, I think it's a good series. It's a great series. I really like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm gonna mention it because I don't want to spoil it. Have you seen the episode where they go to? Have you seen the episode when they deal with? They go golfing.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I have seen that.
Oh, so you have seen? Okay.
Yes.
I like that episode. That was good, man. And they go to women's what's it called? Like the class to how to treat women, basically.
Yeah.
Women
how to respect. Yeah. What
basically
did they call it?
That was pretty. That was good. And like the guy, I mean the bookie guy, he's the one who really got
gender sensitivity training. That's what it is.
He got in trouble because he kept saying the wrong things, and I think like Lava wasn't saying nothing really.
Yeah.
He was trying to get them to shut up though, like just stop talking. Because they were just making it worse and everything, and it's. But it's cool how Muggsy, like how they make Muggsy grow, though.
Yeah, and that's nice because he's been a focal point the entire show, and definitely kind of one of the characters that are like, yeah, this guy is like there's no helping him. Essentially, I think even Loudermilk says that in that episode. He's like, you can't help these guys. These are the worst of the worst.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, look,
sign off on the thing and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But Muggsy, I mean, hey, that shows that Muggsy got help. But I think the other two guys, like the old guy stuff, I was like, you're wasting your time.
Oh yeah,
it's like this guy. Because what was it? The lady said, they asked a question of what is gender neutral or something like that, or gender something that's kind of like you don't treat it any differently, like the two genders differently.
Gender
I forgot
blindness.
what the term was. Yeah, but because he said, is it like when you go to a masseuse and you ask for the happy ending? But they bring in a man, but you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing. Oh my God, that man is a freaking freak. It's like, good God. Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, and about his daughter, because I thought it was something for the show, because I was like, okay, they're gonna explain. Let's say, is something going with the face? So I had to go look her up.
Yeah,
and then I realized, it's a birthmark. Okay.
Yeah.
And I noticed because if you've seen like the Farley brothers, this is a Farley brother, right?
Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, Peter.
Okay, it's one of them. Yeah. So what is it? What did they have a fight with each other?
I don't know.
Oh, but anyway, in the Farley brothers, if you see their movies, I always notice like they always have some characters that actually have real disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I remember because didn't they do Shallow Hal?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, and they had the guy who walked with his hands up there, the cool guy in the club, like he was always popular. He always walked with hands. I'm trying to remember, was something about Murray. Who was it? It was a guy I don't know if that guy is he really disabled. The guy who was her brother. Cameron Diaz's brother?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's really disabled or not. I know it's like some of their movies and things they've done, they had people with real disability. So that's why, it's not really a disability, but something where there is something not common, other people. And that's why I was like, because when I saw her, and I see Muggsy didn't say nothing, and then I was like, that means like I think this is something that's really a part of her. And I looked it up and I said, yeah, it is. But thing is, and here's the thing, it's like, there were some people, I think on Reddit page, and somebody was saying like, hey, how come, what is it on this woman's face? Or something like that. And some people said, and like, why they don't talk about it? Somebody said it's a mole that she really has, and it says like, why would they talk about it? Like, why would he talk about it with her if he's a father? He already knows about it. Blah blah blah. And I say, and I understand that, but these people were getting angry at this dude asking this question. I was like, that's not the dude. He didn't say nothing wrong. Like he didn't make fun of her or nothing. He was just asking because it's not common. You don't see that,
and especially because this show is very much about poking fun at kind of everybody.
Yeah, so you don't know. I was like, why are you attacking this dude for asking? Yeah. Like, the only reason I knew, because I put the actress's name in, and I saw it in her real photo, so I was like, oh, this is something she has. Like, that's the only reason I knew. So he just went to Reddit and just asked, and he wasn't nasty or nothing. Nobody was making fun of her. So I was like, just answer the question, people.
Yeah.
It's like, we get it. And yes, people ask, but I think also as we watch the show, because that's what I'm saying, I watched the whole show first before I even looked. I saw how people weren't reacting to it. Was that okay? This is something that's not part of the show, and it must be something that's on.
Now
the
I feel like if you had her in a scene with anybody else from that group, Loudermilk included, like it would have been weird had they not been commenting.
Yeah, like the old guy. The old guy would have said some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but So I was wondering about that too. But that's I think she what I look over was she some type of dancer or something like that too, actress. Yeah, she's a nice looking woman. I mean, but yeah, it was but he has a lot of children because it was like I was thinking they were doing the other daughter. They said this is a new daughter,
Yeah,
Cappuccino.
Exactly.
It's like
it's cappuccino latte, and then the son that just looks like Bulk from or
yeah,
no,
yeah. And how the son defended him. Yeah, I like that his son defended him about him being a exterminator or something like that.
It's like, I'm an exterminator. Let me spell that for you. X. C. You get the idea. You get the idea. Like, Jesus Christ.
You'll put X. Yeah, that show it's hilarious, man. Yeah, I hope it gets some play. It kind of. That show, it kind of feels like how Ted is, like kind of, it has some like little raunchiness or like stuff, but it's kind-hearted, at the same time.
Did you know, Dominic, that Peter Farrelly directed Green Book?
Green Book?
Yeah, the one with Mahershala Ali and what's his name?
Yeah,
and
from Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't know that.
I had no idea that he directed that movie.
That wasn't a comedy.
Hey, the first line of Wikipedia says it's a biographical comedy drama, Dominic. So,
what was the comedy part?
I don't know.
I mean, it had something funny, but no more than any other drama.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Is Peter Farrelly American?
Yeah, they were raised in Cumberland, Rhode Island, apparently.
Yeah, because why did it...
They were born in Pennsylvania.
For some reason, I thought it was a British movie. I thought a British guy did that.
Yeah.
I mean, not like some reason. I thought it was a British film. I mean, even though it was not British, like a British company or something for some reason. Even
Looks like the last movie they worked together on was Dumb and Dumber 2 in 2014.
I can understand that breaking them up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry. I never seen that movie. I never seen it, so I can't.
Apparently there's a Dear Santa movie coming. It's a comedy Christmas. It's going to be starring Jack Black and Keegan-Michael Key, and it's being directed by Bobby and written by Peter. And they're both producers. Oh, okay. So maybe there's no ill will. They just kind of went separate ways and are getting back together, because Bobby did a movie called Champions in 2023, and I feel like I remember this movie. It's got Woody Harrelson in it, and it looks like maybe like a Bad News Bears style thing or something, where he's like a coach of kids. And then Peter's been
is it kids with disabilities?
I think so. This one kid does have a helmet on, even though it looks like they're playing basketball. So
yeah, it is. Yeah. See, told you they do things with people with like who have some type of disability or like something that's not like normal.
They're inclusive, Dominic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why people would say it. But I never looked at it that way when I first saw their movies or something like that.
Yeah.
I never looked at them trying to be inclusive. I just thought it was just cool that they gave these people parts.
Yeah. As it turns out, there doesn't have to be a big stink about it.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that Madison, I've seen her before. One of the women, she has Down syndrome. I've seen her in something else before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I might actually check the movie out. I mean, it didn't get great scores, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what did Shallow Hal get? Shit, I like that movie, and I just probably didn't get great scores either.
I was gonna say, I doubt that got good scores.
All right, so where we at? What we been playing? So, you ain't playing anything?
No, nothing for me this week.
All right. So I finished Iron Man Chronicles. 100 Heroes. Yeah, I enjoyed that series. I I didn't complete. I didn't do 100% complete or anything. 'Cause I think it's like some couple fish I didn't collect, some books I didn't collect. I didn't know that there was a thing with like you can have like a relationship with somebody like that happens. They're the last battle before the last battle. It all depends how many times you interacted with the person. And I didn't know there was a thing in this game for that, like a relationship. So, but apparently, like whoever you talk to most talks to you. Now, it doesn't have to be love or anything. So I think, so I don't think, yeah, I think it could be a dude too, and I don't think they do. Yeah, this isn't the LGBTQ stuff in this game. So. But and one of the girls, because I did multiple like endings before I saved because I wanted to see some like what they do, and one of the girls who I like talked to the most, she didn't she was just a friend, like it was nothing, you know, like, oh, I like you or nothing like that. So it's like, okay, so not all of them is like that. But before, the only reason I knew before I talked to that particular girl, because that's the girl who I was with most of the time, like in my party, but I didn't talk to her the most though. So the person I got was the person from the Chocobo racing, and that's because you talk to him because you keep doing new races,
Right.
And that's why somebody was complaining. Cause that's why I looked up, because I saw like, wait a minute, why do I? Cause I saw like you was on a balcony or something. I'm just thinking it's a regular cutscene.
Yeah.
And I saw her, and then she was talking like, say, "Oh, I really like you." I said, "Where the hell did this come from?" And
Man,
then
I'm
I was
just a
like, "Wait a
customer."
minute, is this?" And then I was like, "Wait a minute, is there? Can it be other people to do this?" So I looked up to see if there's romance in this game, and people said, "Yes, the person you talk to most, you will have there will be a scene that happens before the battle." So it's not exactly romance all the time, but it's whoever you talk to most. And
That's funny.
somebody said, "Well, this is a stupid ass system because most people are going to get the freaking chocobo, the chick racing, whatever they call it in this game, chick racing, because you keep talking to the girl." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, so most people did," and because there were some people who said they didn't do that, they didn't get her. That's because they didn't bother doing the chick racing, or they only did it a few times. They didn't. If you were trying to do like that's what somebody said. If you like trying to get 100% complete or doing a lot of the side missions, most people got her at the end. So then,
That's so funny.
what I did was spam. I just spammed the girl who I was with the most in the game. And then when I saw that, like, oh, this is just not no romance. So then I spammed like one of the girl leaders or something like that. I spammed her because there was a scene actually early in the game where it seemed like there was something between them two. And then somebody came in and then like it broke up. So I was like, oh, I guess it'll make sense for being more with that woman. So I spammed her and then I did a scene with that. But yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, that system's not good. That's not a good system to do. Like the person you talk to most, you get a scene with.
Yeah, like on
Especially
paper, it seems like a clever idea, but when you think about the logistics of it, when it's just like anybody that you talk to, yeah, it kind of is weird.
I was like, darn. So yeah, like somebody said, it was either gonna be that guy. So one guy said, I got the card guy because the card game said something like that. So I was like, yeah, yeah, because those are the people I basically talk to the most. But yeah, but overall the game is great. I do like the battle system. Like I told you in the beginning, like they have different battle systems. Like they have one like tactics battle where you have your group, you have different groups, and you have all of them are like made up of people you collected. And I'm guessing if you didn't collect everybody, just replace them with like just random soldiers. And then you then you just pick your movements on the battlefield, and then when they fight, like they show like a cutscene thing, like they automatically fight. You're just trying to use the abilities before they fight, and hopefully you wish for the best. Basically. And then hopefully you got people who maybe got some groups they can team up against somebody. while they going in. You gotta be like after each fight, they have retreat. Like either you retreat or they retreat, and then you probably can heal up if you got somebody who has the ability to heal or whatever. Um, and I think that was pretty cool. Then they got like a duel where you just kind of fight 1-to-1, and you that one's not as interesting to me. It's almost I don't. It feels random to me. But I just put the cheats on, so I just automatically win. So, but when I was doing it, it's like I didn't understand if I'm losing or how do I just block? Cause like it just I don't know. Then you get the regular battle system, and like the end of the game deal with it was like a big war, so you had that, and then they had you like running through the castle to get to the guy, and then that's when you have the duel. Like they have a duel like between you and the main character, and then the other two main characters came in, and you duel the main bad guy with them, and it was a cool ending. Like it was a nice ending. Yeah, I would like these guys to do another game to improve upon what they've done with this one, because like there's some problems here and there that I question. Like I wish there were a little more side quests dealing with some of the characters. I know it's a lot to ask to do all of them, like all the characters you collect. But I hope there'd be something more with the 100 characters that you get. Like they actually have their own missions or something. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good game. It's all right RPG that since I never played Sudoku, so I can't really compare it to that. Like I'm curious how people feel. I'll probably look it up on forums to see how they feel about this game compared to those old games. Mm-hmm. Like how does it stack up? But I did like this on its own. A pretty cool game. What else did I played? I played Octopath Traveler. Since I finished this game, I was like, Octopath Traveler is on Game Pass. I was always interested in this game when it was first announced on the Switch. Mm-hmm. So I said, yeah, let me go ahead and give this a try. And it's all right. I mean, the look of the game, of course, is really the thing that really jumps out at you. Yeah. The 3D-ish pixelated look. The battle system is interesting with you building up charges and unleashing them. I think the max you can do is 4. So you can build up a charge, which charges your abilities also. So you can be like, hey, I can charge up even an attack or even like a defense or something, or like some type of ability that might help you, or like kill you or something. So that's pretty interesting. Also, the way the game starts, like you can pick the character you want to choose to start with. I chose to start with this knight, and then I did meet another character after I finished his first episode story. I guess each character has his episode of story. I guess it's gonna be another episode I have to deal with him. But I can go anywhere on the map to meet another character. So I met this other character, and then you can choose to continue this. It's like I don't have to, like their prologue, I should say. And which is basically like the first episode, but you don't have to. So I'm guessing they could just join you, and you don't go through that story or anything, and you just continue. I guess if you want to just continue your main character story, I guess that's what they're saying. Like, hey, maybe you don't want to continue this guy's story or something like that. Or it could be maybe I'm guessing that's good for another playthrough. If you're doing like another playthrough, maybe It's like, hey, I don't want to go through this episode again. I just want to see this person's story. So that's interesting approach to do it. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely different than JRPGs I played before as far as how they develop the story. But the story themselves are basic. They're pretty simple right now. Anyway, as I'm early on in this game, so I got this ex-knight who his kingdom's been taken over, and from a trader. I mean, well, the trader helped cause it to be taken over, and then the other character who I found was this young girl who's a trader, and she has a family. She comes from a family of traders, but she wants to travel. She'd rather be a traveling trader. So that's why she joins you. so she can travel the world and learn things. So now, I was also like, since seeing all this stuff with Summer Game Fest, I was like, see, they showed off Dragon Age, so I was like, oh, okay, so let me go ahead. I remember I finished Dragon Age 1 like a couple years ago again, and had started Dragon Age 2, but I stopped because I want to play some other games, and now I was like, yeah, let me go to Dragon Age 2 again, before I can go through this game and just go through the series before this new one comes out this fall. And I just played a very little bit of it, and man, I'm playing through Dragon Age 2. I'm just seeing how, like, yeah, this was the worst of the three, and it just feels so incomplete. Like, I want to look up like a dev diary of this game. Like, was this supposed to be what it is? And like, and then you definitely see how they really changed from a traditional like Western RPG to trying to be more action. Mm-hmm. And this is still also at the time where they didn't have controller support for the PC version. So I'm using the mouse and keyboard, which some people will be like, hey, yeah, that's the best way to do it. While for me, no, I prefer the controller. Yeah. So that's one thing I don't like about it. What I chose to be a mage in this one. This one you can only be human, like, because it's a very contained story. Like, it's not like the first game where you could be multiple races. This one you only can be a human. And yeah, it's good for like I said, a contained story. But when you think of BioWare games and you think of, the previous Dragon Age, it's just kind of disappointing that you pretty much locked in this. Yeah. And I guess they learned their lesson, like, that people did not like this, and from Inquisition they made you be able to be multiple races. Because it makes this game almost doesn't feel like a 2. It feels more like a side story. Like, and if that's what it was, if it was called like Dragon Age, Kirkwall or something, like that's what the city it is you're in, I think people would accept it. Like, okay, this makes sense that this is just this is not a small story, but this is like a side story where you're this family. So yeah, you're not going to be able to pick a race because they're just focusing on this family. What else have I done? I played some Redfall because I was curious to see how the game was after the update, and the update since the game originally came out, because I haven't played it since it originally came out. And yeah, so now you can finally pause the game. It's single player now. Like, you can have it solo mode, or offline mode, I should say, and you can pause the game. And I was like, wow, that's great. I mean, it should have been there from the beginning. I never understood why games like this do that. Yeah. But yeah, so it's good that they have that. It's other updates, but things I don't notice because I didn't play much of the game, and this was the biggest thing I remember them saying for this game, was to have an offline support. I played through the game a bit just to see how I like it, and like, I playing on PC, and yeah, I remember initially playing and saying how like optimization wasn't good with this game, because of like, this game visually is not great at all. Like, it looks just as good as what Dishonored, and that's a 360 game. So in this one, the optimization doesn't seem like it's still that great. I think it's running better though. Is running better than when I initially played this game. It definitely is running better. So they did do something with it, but it's not great. Because like I said, it's just like, visually, it's like, this game, it just looks like a slightly better 360 game, basically, or like a low end Xbox One game. But yeah, it's still not great compared to, like, when you compare to games like Dead Island and Dying Light. This doesn't hold a candle to it, because it's just not a lot of action in between going to places like those games. Like, those games, like, yeah, you can walk to place where there's no zombies or something, because you don't want zombies just constantly, because it makes the game go too slow because you got to keep going to zombies. But the pacing of those games between that time of going to place and fighting zombies is much better than what this game is. Because it's just be a whole lot of nothing, and like you just walk through the city and stuff, and yeah, it just seemed like it could be better. I mean, this game could have been better, but I think, but there has been reports we've seen like how they felt kind of rushed with this and everything. So yeah, this wasn't up to the standards, basically because they probably want to give it a chance. Maybe they would give it a chance in the full resources when they were gotten Microsoft. Because they were working on this game before, yes, Microsoft got them, but if there was any trouble, I was hope like Microsoft would give them more resources to work on it to make it better. But it seems like that didn't happen.
No.
All right, so there were some demos. Oh, well, before I get to demos, I'm sorry, I forgot Manor Lords, because in Jeff Keighley's show on this Summer Game Fest, he was showing how these indie games were doing really great so far on Steam, like some of the most played games, and Manor Lords was up there. And I was like, I knew what the game was. It was an RTS game, a real time strategy game, where it takes place in like the plague era of England or whatever. So it's kind of like you're building up this town or this to I guess a kingdom, maybe something like that, a manor, I guess you say, and you're just managing the people there and like them, getting the wood or honey animals, and then you build up a granary and stuff like that. Yeah, I just got up to that point basically. I just got like 5 families together on this, and nothing really big happened while I was playing. So these games take time. Like I was just very early on, just trying to get a feel of what the game is, and I see the appeal. I see why people like it, and it seemed all right. It's still in early access, I want to say. It's not really officially out, so they're still improving on things with this game. But I do see why people like it, and I mean these are the type of games I used to always play all the time. Like Civ was a turn-based one, but I like Civ. I liked Warcraft and Starcraft, and what other game had I played similar to this? Some Roller Coaster Tycoon or something like that. Like anything with strategy, like where you feel like a god basically, and you're just managing the people, the folks, and you're having some type of control over their lives. I enjoy that. So some demos, because they were announced at some of these shows. One of them I played was called Parcel Corps, which is you play as a basically a bike delivery guy, and it has you can do tricks with the bike and things of that nature. It's pretty simple. The graphics are like shell shaded kind of looking graphics.
Okay.
It looks all right. Like graphically it looks all right. It doesn't run that well, but it's an alpha, as it say. So I'm imagining it can run better, or maybe my PC. They just don't optimize it for my PC anymore because I'm so outdated. They say, "Nah, we just not going to bother." Even though this game doesn't look doesn't look demanding at all. But yeah, so you go through, like, you have to take this parcel, whatever you get from a person, and get it to deliver to whatever they tell you at a certain amount of time, and you have to do that going through traffic and stuff. And you probably can find some shortcuts. You can jump and do tricks and stuff like that, and give you points. So you get like scores on each run and things of that nature. And it seemed all right. I mean, it seemed like a pretty cool, fun game. I also play a game called, I don't know how you pronounce it, Pipistrello. You play as this rabbit that looks like he's been beat up or whatever, man. Like, I don't know what kind of art style they're going for, like the look of the rabbit. But it's a pixelated game with like a top down view action game where you kind of go through dungeons, areas. I guess something like what a Zelda is, but it's not really like a Zelda. I don't think. But you got a yo-yo, and use your yo-yo to kill the enemies like normally. Like you see enemy just hit it with the wherever the action button is with the yo-yo. But it also got a point where you can kind of solve puzzles or even kill enemies with if you hold the trigger button and shoot the yo-yo, it goes longer. And if you can bounce it on angles along walls, you can kill enemies or do something where you have to grab a key or go through a puzzle or something like that. So there's some cool ways to use the yo-yos. I'm only played very little of it, but I can see it like, oh, it has, it's all right. Like I like the appeal. Like I like the whole mechanic with the yo-yo. That really what makes the difference, from other games that I played that's similar to this. So yeah, I'm curious to see what I think it comes on this year. So I'm curious if anybody does play it and like how they feel about it and what they think of it. So far, I mean, I think that's it plays all right. It's probably the better of the two that I played. Well, I played more than two. I think I played like 3 demos. One of them I didn't really finish. I didn't really do much to really talk about Mexico 1921. That was the. It's a game that's. I think the president died in Mexico around that time, and you're playing as. Well, I started as a detective. I think you'd be a reporter. Actually, am I a reporter or a detective? I think I'm a reporter. Yeah, I'm a reporter, and you're kind of, I guess, filling out clues and stuff. I haven't really played long enough to really know like what exactly do you do? Are you trying to solve like who did it or what's the or is it just a point? It seems like more like a kind of not really point and click adventure because you are moving the guy, but it feels around there like that vein of kind of game, and it has an art style that's very different, almost I'm not clay, but maybe like paper, like mache kind of. It looks weird, kind of look to it. There was another game I played too. It was like a roguelite. I think it's called Olden something because did seem like it has something to do with Norse gods and things of that nature. Let me see here. I think it's in my library here. Yeah, Odin Fall. Yeah, you look like you played as woman Viking warrior. They didn't let me choose my character, so I think you only can be this woman, unless that changes when the whole game comes out. And then you go through these stages that changes because it's a roguelike game. I got my ass kicked. Basically, it was hard for me, so that's why not really much I can really say to that game, because it got a little tough, and I just didn't feel like trying anymore because I went to play other games, so I was like, I just stopped. So that's all I really played. So I think we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back. So now we're gonna do the flashback segment. We only have a few games this week also, since this is like really the time where not a lot of heavy hitters really come out.
Yeah, especially not
E3.
back in the day.
Yeah. 2014, there was nothing really worth mentioning around now, though. But we go back 20 years, though, to 2004. We do have a game called PsyOps, The Mind Gate Conspiracy.
Yeah.
It came out on Windows and the PS2 and Xbox. And it didn't come to the GameCube. I guess they said fuck GameCube.
No,
and
that's why I chose Second Sight as the one that I stood behind in the telekinesis wars of 2020 or 2004.
Yeah, they both lost. But anyway,
they did, unfortunately.
But maybe if they went to the GameCube PsyOps, they will be okay. Maybe the GameCube, they're missing the GameCube market. But anyway, the PsyOps, I remember seeing the review in Game Informer. I was because it gave it like a 9 or not. Mm-hmm. I think they gave it a 9. They gave it a 9 out of 10. And it seemed cool. You had the guy with psychic powers who can do all this kind of stuff, telekinesis, remote viewing, allows you to venture. It would say right here, allows you to venture past the current area, leaving the character's body to explore adjacent rooms. They got like mind control, pyrokinesis, and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I thought it sounded cool, and the screenshots looked okay because I was looking at no video or nothing. So so yeah, I mean it got good reviews.
Yeah.
I mean overall it got an 84 Metacritic. That's better than your game, but it's the Second Sight game, which is coming out later that year in 2004. But the sales weren't that good for it though, so it did not get a sequel. They did have Plan 1 because everybody always plans for a sequel, right? So they, unfortunate, even though the game was all right, it just didn't have that commercial appeal.
Nah.
For it really, and maybe it came out the wrong. Some people could say timing because it came even though E3 was technically in May, I think during those times. Some people let's say you don't want to release your games now because people are probably focusing on E3 and stuff like that. But I mean, they had I don't know any commercials for it. I mean, maybe if there was, I don't think it. I would think it's a Midway game. You would have a bunch of commercials for it, but yeah,
I was wondering about Midway during the 2004s though. Like where was Midway at that point?
Yeah, so it. If it was it in, I don't remember it being wrestling or nothing like that. So, yeah, man, it's just that nobody probably really knew about it. This game. So that's that's probably just unfortunate. Also, Front Mission 4 came out. That was, of course, Front Mission's the Square Enix game, the tactics game that's famous. People like that game. I never really got into it.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I just never. I played the demos. I never played the demos when I was younger, like Front Mission 2 maybe or 1, but never really got into the series.
The cover is so weird. It looks like a Sims game.
It really is. Having this this mad woman, this
show me the mechs.
Eyes closed. Are they their eyes closed because their minds are in the mechs? I'm guessing. I never knew how Front Mission worked. I mean, I always assumed that they crawled in the mechs like Gundams or something, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's a psychic connection thing. I have no idea. Or maybe they're just sleeping. Maybe they're not even part of the mechs. They're just sleeping in this. I don't know what the hell why the hell they had that picture like this. But it got a 75 on Metacritic, so I mean it was all right. Electronic EGM gave it an 8. Fabutsu gave it a 32 out of 40. Game Before gave it a 7.25. The lowest score I see here is IGN gave it a 6.8. Let me see here. It's sold quite a few copies. It was the top-selling game during the week of Christmas in Japan. It was re-released alongside other titles in the series in Square Enix's Ultimate Hits line on May 11, 2006. So yeah, I guess it sold well for that time. Man, if you ever see some sales like this now, Daniel, man, that is a horrible. That's gotta be man. It just people would get fired. Everybody would get fired. I mean, it was just man, the whole studio would just be closed. It'd be bankruptcies and stuff like that happening if they got some sales like this. 260,000. I mean, this is only Japan, but I want to see what the U.S. sales. This can't be but so much. Why do they only have Japan sales? I don't get that. It's
a very important game in Japan.
Yeah, but it came in the U.S. also. And this is the one I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about Japan.
Yeah,
I'm talking about North America.
I wonder if it's because maybe numbers are easier to get in Japan, that stuff's available, whereas in America, these companies try and keep it under wraps.
Yeah, that may be so. And plus, it's easy to probably count them when they're all on that island and not spread out all around. In a big country like America. I mean, I just pulled that out my ass. I mean, that's not true at all.
Just one man going door to door to every Japanese household.
Yeah.
Did you buy this game? No? Okay.
What else? I think. Oh, that's it for 2004. So now we're going back 30 years to 1994, and we got Donkey Kong on the Game Boy has come out. I mentioned it actually like a few weeks ago with the what was it, Mario versus Donkey Kong one that came out. So like how they were pretty close to their anniversaries. So this is like the original one. See, I always thought this was normal Donkey Kong, so I never thought it was like some type of new take on it. Like I just thought it was like basic Donkey Kong, just maybe a new levels or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you know about this game more than I do, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean it's basically problem solving stuff instead of like your traditional Donkey Kong. I really liked like the Game Boy Advance games. That's where I came into them more so than this one. But I think it was definitely a clever like evolution of those original, because it's not the Mario traditional platformer game. Instead, you're just using the jumps to get around the levels and kind of solve puzzles essentially. And that's in a way, that's what you were doing with the original Donkey Kong on a base level, trying to get around. So I thought it was a clever use of the more simplistic game style of the Game Boy at the time.
All right, so that's it for the flashback segment. So there's not much there. So, do you want to take a break, or you just want to go back to gaming news?
I guess we can get right into it, Dominic.
All right.
Kick this bad boy off with the Xbox showcase that occurred last Sunday. That show kicked off with Black Ops 6. That, of course, is happening during like the Gulf War, early 90s.
Or Blops, as I like to call it.
Blops, yep. That's what the kids are calling it. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine, but it looks like just another Call of Duty. I don't know. I've played one Black Ops game, maybe, and that's the original. I feel like I don't know if I ever even got around to 2. I definitely did not play 3 and on. The fact that we are at Black Ops 6 is just like mind blowing to me.
Now, one of them was one of them just a multiplayer?
Was it?
Did all of them have a story?
I thought all of them had story, because there's Black Ops 1, 2, 3. There's Cold War in there somewhere.
Oh, Cold War is 5.
5, yeah. So what was 4? It wasn't just called Black Ops 4, was it?
Yeah, it was.
What's the cover of that one look like? Black Ops 4.
They got a guy with a mohawk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that one now. Okay, so yeah, you're right. That's the one that didn't feature a traditional campaign mode. It was the first time in the franchise. Black Ops 4 put all its attentions into 3 distinct modes: multiplayer, zombies, and all new battle royale mode, Blackout, which I guess essentially became...
And that's what the assumption was, like, oh, are they not going to do campaigns anymore in Call of Duty? But that quickly changed the next year.
Yes, it did. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what they talked about for this one is like, going back to like traditional prestige modes and things of that nature, which I think they're just trying to draw fans of like some of the older titles back into it.
Back in the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, man, where everybody was nice and just being like meeting each other.
I'm sure they absolutely love you, Dominic. It's wild because they were like prestige. You can level up to prestige 100, and then once you reach prestige level 100, you can there are 1,000 like elite prestiges or something like that. Like it. I mean, clearly they've got this planned out for people that are just like super into this. The story seems like spy thriller stuff. It sounds like they're going to have like different options for you to choose, like dialogue options. So that could be interesting if it actually kind of diverts the story a bit. That's a nice little evolution there, but I don't know what you can do as the developer of a Call of Duty game to get people that are no longer interested in Call of Duty to come back to Call of Duty?
Yeah, I don't know either. I just figure you just keep getting the younger kids, get
I
like what
guess that's true.
drug dealers do. I mean, you just keep,
Yeah.
you get, keep getting people.
Yep. And Warzone is that free hit, so that's all you need to do. Get them playing Warzone, and then maybe they'll play. They'll want to play real Call of Duty multiplayer. They don't even care. I mean, for the longest time, it feels like people haven't really cared about those campaigns anyway, even though that was the only thing I ever really cared about. So yeah, it's almost weird that they do, especially since we saw these experiments with like Black Ops 4 where they didn't have a campaign. It's almost weird that we're back at a point where they are still doing like these big campaigns that probably cost hundreds of millions of dollars to produce, only for what feels like a small segment of the community to actually utilize.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dominic, after that was Doom the Dark Ages. This is coming in 2025 and as rumored is also going to be coming to the PlayStation. You are the Doom Slayer, but in a more medieval hell-like setting. You've got more melee weapons. You got the shield with spikes around it. You're riding a dragon. It's an impressive trailer. I kind of expected this game to be coming out sooner, maybe near the end of the year.
I thought so too.
Because I thought that's what the rumors were originally speculating. It also felt like, that it's something to fill out the calendar a little bit. But yeah, 2025, maybe early. I could see that being an early 2025 thing, somewhere in the first quarter. But yeah, what did you think? Looks cool.
Yeah, it does, man. Like, it made me want to play some Doom. I kind of want to go back and play the original, or the not the original, but the first of the new ones and second one.
Yeah, I definitely got to get around to playing Eternal at some point. Yeah, after that was State of Decay 3. There was no date. This was a CG trailer. Why they showed this, Dominic?
Because it's a show that is coming.
Yeah.
Where people can know it's coming.
Still exists.
It's a show that games. Yeah.
That's basically what that felt like.
Yeah, it's not the kind of zombie game I like because of the building and management stuff. It's just that I don't have people to be that patient. Like, we just want to go in and shoot. Like, you can't. That's not the type of game.
You played a decent amount of 2, though, didn't you?
Yeah, but I ain't played with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played by myself. That's why. And then I got to a point where I was bored.
Right.
I built up my little part of the community, and then I didn't care to play anymore because there wasn't. I don't think there was a story.
Yeah.
That was the problem with me. Was
wasn't.
that? Yeah, because it's like how Power World and all those type of games are, where the survival games. Is that there isn't like a real. I want an end game. Like I want a like end game as far as story. Like, hey, the story ends. Now, if you want to play after that and do shit, fine. But I want a story where has something to progress to and things of that nature, but it just doesn't have that. So I kind of lose interest.
I got you. All right. Next up was Dragon Age: The Veilguard. This is what was the Dreadwolf? That's what it was originally called. That's what it is now. That's coming out.
I wonder why they changed that. I wonder if the Veilguard, is that what you supposed to be, or who? I don't know. Yeah, I should. I mean, you would think I would watch it. I did watch it, but I just wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. I was really just trying to see how the game looks.
What do you think about it? It has kind of a different art style to it, maybe a little more cartoony.
It does. I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, it's not that big a deal because I mean, I think each one is a different art style. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's because. 1 doesn't look like 2.
You're right.
And 2 doesn't look like 3.
Definitely, has its own distinct thing too.
Yeah, so all of them did really. So it's really, I mean, the only thing is like, which version of that dwarf do you like the most? The one in 2, 3, or this one? Because he wasn't in the first one.
Why'd they turn Dragon Age into Fable and Fable into Dragon Age, Dominic?
I don't know, but the combat when I saw it happening, because they did have like a reveal, like they going more deep dive into it, like gameplay. It just feel really actiony. I don't know. It definitely.
I know there was some talk that they basically went like the God of War route, the more modern God of War route, that is.
Really?
And people have been pretty positive on that. I mean, obviously, it depends on what you're looking for out of this game, but
yeah, because I don't want an action game.
Yeah,
I want those games. I want RPG. I want a Western RPG. That's what I want.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to think because that first game was like PC controls, like you look down on the character and
yeah. I mean, you can make it go closer because they graphically was better. Like you can get real up and close, like, and it looked better than what Neverwinter was. But it was a Western RPG, and now they've just gone more action. Even though they stepped back, like 2 seemed like it was really trying to go action. Then it stepped back a bit in Inquisition. But yeah, it's definitely basically what Mass Effect did. Like it started off more RPG as into a more action RPG type of game into an action game basically with RPG mechanics. I mean, and with Dragon, see, like Mass Effect, I'd say I can deal with that. Like I'm okay with that with Mass Effect, but I like Dragon. Come on, man! It's basically it's Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Seems like, and even though I don't think it does the D&D rules in that game. I'm not sure. If it do, I don't know. And I don't really know D&D rules. When I think of D&D rules, I think of boring. So it didn't seem boring. So
it definitely doesn't look boring. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. Because they don't dice roll shit. It's just just hit. But
this gameplay is definitely fast paced. Like I definitely.
Yeah. It's definitely a fast-paced game. It's not what I think of, like, just an RPG. I mean, it might be good, though, for mass appeal. Hey, that's what I'm saying. For mass appeal, it's good.
This dude's doing a lot of parkour, Dominic. He's doing a lot of unnecessary flips.
Baldur's Gate 3 seemed to do well.
Yeah.
And that game is definitely, I would not say mass appeal.
Yeah.
The way that game plays.
So that's interesting because I hadn't seen the extended gameplay stuff of it, but yeah, visually I think it does look good, especially in the world itself. It looks nice, but yeah, there's a lot of movement, Dominic, a lot of movement.
Yeah.
All right. Next up was Fallout 76 Skyline Valley. That's coming out June 12th, or rather came out June 12th. And they teased coming in early 2025 that you could play as a ghoul in that game finally. So I guess going for a different kind of class, essentially.
Yeah, that's cool to do. Even though it's funny, I would never pick it.
Yeah.
Even if they had a choice.
Only if you're a first person. That way I don't have to see. All right. Next up was Expedition 33. This is very stylish RPG. Like it's coming out in 2025. Kind of fantasy, but not like full on Dungeons and Dragons style stuff. But like all the menus and stuff were almost stylized in a way that I would expect out of like a Persona game, but not anime. I think it looked neat. What'd you think?
What's it called?
Expedition 33.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Like I did see it. I gotta look at it.
It didn't stick in my head initially, but when I went back and looked at it again, I was like, oh yeah, like visually this looks really neat. Gameplay wise, I'm not super into it, but
yeah, visually, yeah, it does look neat. I'm curious, like, what is it supposed to be gameplay wise? Is it just like a RPG, like
it looks turn based,
Final Fantasy? Yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll look at that. As long as it's because at first I was scared it was going to be a Dark Souls thing, and then when I saw like multiple characters and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is different.
This little sidebar that they have on the side looks like it's, kind of a gauge of like whose turn's next kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I didn't catch who is developing that, if they have, kind of a reputation or something. But
I don't know. It's this Claire Obscores. I don't know. Is
I
that
don't
the
know
person's
if that's
name?
a person or part of the,
Yes.
Yeah, because that just brings up a movie, and I don't know if the movie is at all related. Is this Turkish, Dominic? Is this a Turkish video game?
This is
Turkish turn-based.
That's like, I have no idea.
All right. After that was South of Midnight. We had seen this game in kind of CG video form, I think, in the past from Compulsion. It's an adventure game, and this one actually had gameplay, and it looks really good in the like kind of trailery stuff where there's like this stop motion animation to it. The weird thing is, like, a lot of the gameplay, like specifically the combat stuff, didn't look like it had that same kind of animation style to it. Like, the art style, of course, looked the same, but it didn't look kind of jittery in the way that like stop motion animation does, the way that it did in those cutscenes. But gameplay wise, it looked cool. Story, it seemed pretty interesting. She was trying to escape this weird, like, huge crocodile monster. That's coming out in 2025. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, it looks interesting, man. I hope it turns out to be good, man.
Yeah,
I really do, because it is. I mean, it's something different, like dealing with like Louisiana and the bayou, and the black. I mean, the last time we seen that, really, I mean, I remember playing in that is the game you like, Infamous 2.
Mm-hmm. It did definitely give me kind of Infamous feelings, because
like,
she's
the way
able
she was gliding and stuff.
to glide and stuff. Yeah,
it did. So they deal with this setting like this with a black character, from the area. A different perspective. I'm curious. Yes,
I do wonder. Like, Compulsion games seem to trailer well because, like, they're the ones that did We Happy Few, and everybody, like myself included, looked at those like early trailers, and it's like, oh man, they're doing like a BioShock game, and then it turned out to be like a weird roguelike thing. I just hope that they've learned from that and are setting expectations, and like, we're going to get the game that we see here and not just some like slightly different thing that's not quite as interesting. But I definitely have high hopes for that. That's one of the ones that I came out of this show being more excited about. Next up was World of Warcraft, The War Within expansion. That's coming out August 26th. More World of Warcraft. I don't know enough about World of Warcraft to
I was thinking the way she said, like, the fight, like, I think she said something like the final battle and stuff. I was like, oh, is this going to be the last thing?
Yeah.
Warcraft? And I was hoping to see something that says, like, the final expansion or something like that.
Before World of Warcraft 2.
Huge. Yeah. Then it said, like, Warcraft 2 come in 2026.
Let me ask you this, Dominic. Do you think what would be more successful for them? World of Warcraft 2 or World of StarCraft?
I don't know. Yeah, you got to ask. See, for me, you have to ask somebody who's...
There's a guy at work that plays World of Warcraft. I'm going to have to ask him if he would be interested in that. I wonder if they could get away with running both of those concurrently. And that way, then it would be a little more not successful necessarily in that, like, StarCraft would do a whole bunch of numbers, but it would maybe fill in the gaps of people that are less interested in, like, the fantasy stuff and more interested in the sci-fi than if you just kind of did the next the next level of World of Warcraft. But yeah, I wonder.
I mean, it will help the people. I mean, it will at least give the people a break from World of Warcraft story because they got to keep building upon stuff they have and trying to build something that's new, to make people feel like it's new. But
I think it's time that they made an expansion based on the movie, Dominic. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, at least it's dark. Yeah, you see, hey, you got. I mean, there's other things you can look at and new things you can make because all you have is just those games.
I was a little disappointed that this didn't come along with an announcement of like something Game Pass related. You know,
I was hoping that too, Daniel. I was like really hoping like, hey, you can play these up to this expansion or something for free. You know, if Game Pass Ultimate, because I was going to jump on that, and then they didn't do it. So I said, well, I guess I'll just continue not playing that game.
Yeah. All right, next up was Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. That's coming out sometime this year, but no firm
I totally forgot
date.
about that game. I thought it came out already, and because I was thinking like, damn, what did it do well? I would think people were talking about it, but yeah, it didn't come out yet.
I feel like, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like this was basically just the same trailer as the original Metal Gear Solid 3 trailer, and they just redid it, but with, better graphics now.
Yeah, I don't remember because I didn't really see a Metal Gear Solid 3 trailer. I mean, I probably did, but I just don't remember. But that's when I wasn't looking at a lot of videos online. Yeah. I was mostly looking at magazines.
All right, next up was Sea of Thieves Season 13. That's coming out July 25th. There's like an undead pirate guy. You're going to be able to drive the biggest, baddest warship, apparently, according to the trailer. So, Sea of Thieves, they're still doing it, Dominic.
Yeah, until they can make bot people to be on your ship, man. I can't do it.
Yeah. Next up was Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. That's coming out July 18th, so right around the corner. That looks all right.
What is that?
It is, and I can never remember if Flintlock is a previous thing that we have seen or a previous game, and this is the next in the series. No, it's a new thing because it's made by the team that did Ashen. It's like a fantasy mixed with like revolutionary style weaponry. It looks like.
Yes, I see it now.
It's kind of, I forgot that there was, did I forget or did I not realize that there's a demo for that on the PC right now, actually. I might download that and see what that's about.
Yeah, tell me if you can play it and like how does it run?
Yeah, because it seems kind of cool. It's described here on Steam as from Studio A44, makers of Ashen, comes Explosive Souls Light. Now it's Souls Light.
That's why I didn't. Now I was going to
say, I think I remember hearing that now too.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
But it's a light, so like maybe where gods and guns collide in a battle. For
maybe the story, be so much be good that I actually be interested in actually.
Because that's the thing, is like Souls-like gameplay. Like people make the argument that like Jedi, Fallen Order in those games are Souls-likes. And like I had no problem really with that gameplay. It just had a far more compelling story than anything I've ever seen in those games. Because they tell subtle stories, and I'm not here for that, Dominic. Just spell it out for me. All right. Next up was Age of Mythologies Retold. This is the 2022 game, Age of Mythologies, with more modern sensibilities. Basically a remake. That's coming out September of this year, September 4th. So that's cool if you're looking for
I never played Age of Mythology. Actually, I played Age of Empire like just a little bit, but I never played Age of Mythology. But yeah. That is cool. That's coming on Xbox Series X too.
Did I see that one way or the other? Let's say Age of Mythology.
I mean, I feel like they put those games out now on.
There was one that they were talking about, like we specifically made this with Xbox in mind.
Yeah, strategy game.
It's coming to Xbox as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was that or the other one that they've got going on. All right, next up, Dominic, big thing, Perfect Dark. This looked less focused on the shooting and more focused on the kind of like sneaky spy stuff. It it reminded me a lot of Deus Ex. What'd you think?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
Perfect Dark.
Damn. Perfect Dark. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it did. It definitely did make me think of Deus Ex, but it looks cool. I'm glad they finally showed some gameplay, but just the no date, man, just killed it for me. It's like, God darn it.
I can't believe it. Like, that's where I really started to kind of turn on this show is another one where it's just like State of Decay. It's like, oh, okay, you're telling me that you're still working on it. Because, like, they showed gameplay, but not gameplay. Like, it seemed very much faux gameplay. So I wasn't convinced that I'm like going to see this game anytime soon, especially when you don't even put a date on it. Like, people put dates on games that are coming out in 2026. Like, if you think it's going to come out in 2026, you could say that.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, do you not think it's going to make it out by 2026? Because it doesn't feel like you think it's going to make it out in 2025, and it's not going to come out in 2024. So, like, why do I care? Why do I care? Because you've been egging us on for way too long now, Xbox, and every year you convince me that the next year is going to be just like this massive year where you're going to have all these games to release, and then wet farts everywhere, basically. All right, Dominic. Next up was Diablo 4, A Vessel of Hatred. This was just a CG trailer coming, announcing the expansion for Diablo 4. It's coming out October 8th of this year. So they got that. No indication that that's coming to Game Pass that I saw. So that's sucks. That game is available now on there, but then needing to buy, that. Anyway, after that, Fable, another one where it's like, okay, you're giving me a CG trailer with some stuff that vaguely looks like it could be gameplay. 2025 date, nothing solid, which is fine. I don't expect a solid date when you're telling me something's coming out in 2025, unless it's going to be extremely early. But it was disappointing to see that game again with a very vague date and, not a whole lot as far as gameplay wise. I understand that, like, these shows aren't like big on gameplay, although back in the E3 days, because you had a stage, you would have the occasional like, oh, I'm gonna have this developer come out and play Uncharted 2 or whatever. So you did have that a little bit more, especially with your bigger titles that you wanted to spend more time on. But we just did not get that here. All right, next up was Fragpunk. This is like 5-on-5 hero shooter, but it's got cards that allow you to modify the worlds.
This is a third-party game, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can't remember who it's made by, but it looks pretty cool for
it does
kind of different take on an Overwatch style game. It just seems like we're at a point where everyone's trying to do that again. Like, I don't know if it's like it just took them this long from Overwatch to realize their concept, or if it's like now it almost feels like, oh, Overwatch 2 came out and people started making these games, and then when Overwatch 2 failed, they're like, oh, we're definitely jumping on this. What with this and the Marvel Rivals and the other one that's coming out from Sony. But this at least does have a pretty cool style to it, and some interesting, like, maybe gameplay changes with the card stuff. All right, next up, we slowed it down a little bit. Winterboro. This is a game that looks like Don't Starve, but starring a mouse, basically. It's coming out 2025. This is kind of when we get into the indie stride of this show. Any thoughts on that, Dominic? Did that It's a survival game, right? Like,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's just a survival game. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to get our attention with one of
Yeah.
those. Next up was Mixtape. This is coming out in 2025. It feels very much like Life is Strange. You have these young teen girls, and there's some like magical stuff happening. That they're showing some time travel because you see some dinosaurs. I'm definitely interested to see what that is gameplay wise, especially because they don't really give any indication. Like there's some skateboarding stuff in there. I don't know if I will be skateboarding or if it's just going to be kind of a narrative adventure, which I feel like is probably more so the case. Did that strike you in any way, positive or negative?
I gotta look this up. It's called Mixtape.
Yeah, Mixtape.
I gotta remember what that game is.
So I feel like there's another teen girl game that we saw recently that's not this one.
It was it was like some months ago.
Yeah.
We saw it. And yeah, so they have this one. I'm curious. I think that one's coming out this year though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so this one's coming out in 2025. Anna Parna was doing it. I mean, it kind of shows some interest. Yeah, I like to see this. Just like Life is Strange, I like to learn what the teenage white girl does.
Well, since you brought it up, Dominic, and I brought it up too, I'm going to jump to that real quick. There is a new Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Max Caulfield is back from the original series. That's coming out October 29th of this year.
That's the thing. Is it going to be canon? Because based on your choices of what you did in that game, somebody could be still alive.
Yeah. I wonder. Just because
my thing is, mine is canon. My choice is canon.
Kissing the boy or whatever.
Yeah. Her being the boy, and she learned to let her go.
Yeah.
Her friend go.
Yeah, I don't know that we see the other girl in the trailer, so I don't know if they're going to go that route with it. She looks kind of completely different, and now that could just be because she's aged, but
yeah,
I don't know that that's the case. I mean, she was in college, right? So
no, she was in high school.
High school, okay. So yeah, I guess
I think she might have been a senior. I think she was a senior.
So she could have aged up a bit and
she
had her face change a bit. So.
Was she like 30? She's 30 years older than that, right?
she might be.
Like, I have no idea. I have no idea what the age is supposed to be in that one.
Yeah, but
she definitely still look young. She still look young.
Yeah, I'm excited though because that first series of Life is Strange really grabbed me, and none of the other ones really have. The latest one, the color one, seemed like it was doing some interesting things, but I kind of just want to force my ass to play through 2 and the past one because I started that one. Shoot, I forgot about the past one too. Yeah,
I started that one, but I didn't finish it. I feel like just forcing myself just to play those, just to get them out there. Yeah, because they did. Yeah, that was pretty interesting what they did with that, man. It was done well. It was done well, and I like the idea of and the choices that you can make in there.
And I liked being able to rewind to my choices so that I could kind of see everything.
I know, but that was just her power. Yeah. Not everybody has that power, which I wish they did.
Yeah. And that made for some interesting gameplay when they took that power away from you, and then you're like, "Oh crap! Now I know the choices are important because I can't."
Now I'm going to have to do what I used to do in Telltale games. So I have to start over before the save point, so I can keep going.
Exactly. All right, so to jump back after Mixtape was Elder Scrolls Online, Golden Road. So now this, I think, is where you get like your Game Pass stuff because. As of June 18th, you can do all the DLC for a limited time for free. So they're celebrating their 10 years basically, And yeah, that's a big deal. It's crazy that it's been 10 years. I think we talked about that recently, actually, as part of the flashback segment. And yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. I am shocked that it has succeeded in the way that it has, even more so than like KOTOR and whatnot. And I think that's a testament to them for having supported it pretty well. So yeah. All right. After Life is Strange was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. They had an extended trailer there. That's coming out this year, but they did not give it a firm date either. So another one that was kind of like, what's going on here, man? Like, let's lock some of this stuff in, lay out your year and going forward and see what we've got going on. Yeah, anything new, any new feelings on Indiana Jones? It felt like, that looks cool. I'm excited for it. It's machine games.
It was a long cutscene. I wish they would have just shown some gameplay.
Yeah.
It just kind of reminded me of cutscenes I've seen in the Sony games and stuff like that. I mean, it's Indiana Jones, yeah. So, it was nice and everything, but it was nothing special. Like, I wanted to see some gameplay.
I had heard some complaints about the voice work. What do you think? Is Troy Baker doing a convincing Harrison Ford?
Oh, wait a minute. That's Troy Baker?
Yeah, it's Troy Baker.
I thought it was Harrison Ford because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, he's putting more effort than I would have thought he would. But no, then no, it's not a good. I think he could do better.
Yeah,
he's playing. To me, Troy Baker's playing a Harrison Ford that is just phoning it in.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Like that's what I thought was Harrison Ford.
That's
like for the reason of like
the
he's
voice,
just getting a paycheck.
Yeah, the voice is good enough that you confuse it with the original actor, but at the same time, you think it's the original actor phoning it. So.
Yeah,
that's funny. All right. Next up after that, Dominic, was Mecha Breaker. We had just seen that. That's the one that I confused with like a Gundam game. That's getting a beta in August of this year and coming out next year. So get your mech on. After that was Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is coming out 2025. Looks like an action kind of samurai game. Maybe a little Souls-like or light or whatever they want to call it.
There's the samurai people for the people who are upset with Assassin's Creed.
Are we sure that's not a white guy? Although they might be even happier about that.
No, I was about to say, they'll be okay with that.
Yes.
Because they're going to say, hey, white people were over there,
Yep. Uh-huh.
There's no niggers.
Yeah, Jesus. God, that's so what they want to say, isn't it? They cowards.
Well, like I said, they don't. I'm not gonna say they hate. They just don't want to be seen like as a main character. They got to be the background.
Yeah.
Just Then don't feel comfortable. Wow. Just don't feel comfortable.
All right. Well, next up, Dominic, was Avowed. That's coming out this year. Again, no specific date, which is just like, what are we doing here? Like, let's lock this in, please. Or they can't be afraid of anything Sony's releasing. Sony doesn't have anything.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's coming out this year. Like, darn. I didn't even know this didn't have a date. Honestly, I thought for some reason I thought this had a date.
I thought we would have got one at like the developer direct earlier this year when they were talking about it, but no. All right, next up.
They showed a lot of gameplay. There was another.
It looks
like
good.
There was another. It looks all right. But like I said, I still stand by what I said before that it looks good, but it looks like a very. It doesn't look like next gen, but it looks fine. Like I will like it, but graphically I wouldn't. I can't put a good up against some of these games. Like I don't know. It feels. It's a game. It's a game I'm into because I do like those fantasy and I like fantasy Western RPGs. But yeah, it just doesn't like I would expect like graphically for this generation, I was like, man, I would expect more from this, but I don't know. Maybe if I play it, maybe I'll feel different. But I just don't see it like graphically being really impressive.
Yeah, I wonder if it started development on lower hardware like Xbox One or something. Yeah. All right. Next up, Atomfall. This is a single-player survival action game from Rebellion, who makes the Sniper Elite series. It seems like.
Oh, and the zombie warrior.
Yeah, zombie army.
Army.
Yeah. People are really positive on those games. It's one of those things I feel like I should go back and give a shot, especially when they pop up on Game Pass. But this basically like Britain got hit with an atomic bomb. It has a lot of like Fallout feeling to it. There's a lot of like old new technology and zombies and stuff. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to separate that from Fallout. They showed off a little trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, teased, that they would be showing more at the Ubisoft Forward. That's coming out November 15th. That game looks good. We've talked about it off podcast. I feel like this is the most compelling that I have seen in Assassin's Creed in a long time. So I'm kind of excited about it. It feels like they're doing some stuff through the series.
I hope it's a good story, and I hope it improves upon what they've done in these latest Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Well, the last one seemed like it was more closer to the old one.
The most recent one, yeah.
Yeah, Mirage.
I almost forgot about that one. Jesus.
Yeah, and so I'm curious what they do with this one. Mm-hmm. Like, I just hope it's not a whole bunch of shit on the screen and like collect this. Like, I mean, you can still make a nice, decent amount of game, but just don't make it a whole bunch of busy work. Me doing. But I hope it's a good story put together with those characters.
Absolutely. I wonder how they balance like the use of them, because like the ninja stuff seemed really compelling. Like,
yeah, it did.
It feels more traditionally old Assassin's Creed, where I'm sneaking around and I'm attacking people from the shadows, as opposed to the more combat focused stuff that we saw like in 2 and 1, and then obviously in the new ones that you do with the samurai.
Yeah, and now I wonder if was it just that story beat or just specific story beats where you can choose, or will it be for each one, each mission you choose? Yeah,
that's why I wonder, because
I didn't watch that full like play, because they probably explained it there too, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just watching bits and pieces of it.
I was watching it, but I had the sound turned down, so I didn't hear a lot of what may have been explained during that. But yeah, I mean, just watching it, it looks awesome. Even the combat focused stuff, I don't want to be down on that necessarily. It's just that Assassin's Creed has not been the stealth game for so long now that I'm excited to see that stuff again. And I'm excited to see in the corner, like, oh, this person hangs out here and does this. 'Cause like, that's what a lot of the fun in the first game was for me, is like going and doing these kind of like side quests to gain information about the target, to then go after the target in the most stealthy manner possible. Whereas, it just became literal action game where it's like, all right, run in there and stab them, I guess. All right. After that, they showed an extended look at Stalker 2. There was a CG kind of gameplay mix trailer there.
Yeah, I thought it was Metro.
I mean, those games are effectively one and the same, Dominic. Metro.
Chernobylites.
Yep. Chernobylites, yes. Yeah. Metro definitely picked up the ball that Stalker dropped for a while there. That is locked in for September 5th, so that feels like a pretty big game for Xbox. You know, that's not a first party thing though, which I always forget. But definitely something that it feels like they can kind of work around it and market quite a bit. You know, you don't want to put one of your first party games out necessarily too close to that. All right. Next up, Dominic, new hardware. We've got the diskless Xbox Series X. That's going to be a 1 terabyte in robot white for $450. Right now, Xbox with discs are $450 on sale. So I don't know that that's really all that desirable, honestly. I feel like they're dropping the ball there a little bit. And then they announced a 2 terabyte in Galaxy Black, which looks kind of cool. It's got a green base because it's got that circle base on it. Green accents on the controller. But then the system is black with like speckly, stars and stuff like that. But that's 2 terabytes and gonna be $600 though, Dominic. I don't think I would ever in 2024 spend $600 on an Xbox
just for
Series
another terabyte.
X. Yeah,
like it basically for the man. I don't think that's
I don't know how much those expansion drives are going for nowadays. Like I guess I can check that real quick. Gate Series X. Let's say expansion card 512. Why would you show me the 512 one? 512 is $79.99. 1 terabyte is $150. God, why is that still $150? Now, granted, that's directly from Seagate, so like maybe on Amazon it's cheaper than that. Okay, here's Amazon. Are they even available on Amazon? Okay, $149 on Amazon, so I guess they aren't cheaper than that. And a 2 terabyte is $250. That's really disappointing because originally, like, these were coming in around the same price as just standard NVMe drives that you can theoretically get and install in your PS5 with no, proprietary slot. So that was fine. But we've definitely seen the prices on those go down, and to once again not see these go down because there's some proprietary nonsense. I think that's when you get into a lot of trouble with this kind of stuff. And, I would definitely not, when you're looking at prices like this, I'm just thinking like, how far away from just a PC am I at that point?
Yeah.
$600 is going to get you a graphics card. The $150 for the drive is going to get you a drive plus, a motherboard. And then, you're paying $200 on a chip. Let's say a drive and your RAM, and then you're paying like maybe $300, $400 for a motherboard and a chipset, and you're starting to like, that would last me longer than this console will. I can do other things on a PC. That's in my head where the math starts to go askew a little bit here. Especially when 90% of the games you would want to play on your Xbox are going to be available to you, even through the same service of Game Pass on the PC. So. And that's not even factoring in handheld things that keep getting talked about, especially with Microsoft still hinting that they're going to do something. All right, Dominic, and then the final thing, the one last thing.
So okay, right here it says $500/449.
Yeah.
What's the 1 terabyte disk? Why is it still $500?
Because that's the price that it is regularly. Right now, though, it's on sale for $450.
Oh, okay.
So they're not lowering the prices or anything. It's just right now you can get a disc based Xbox Series X for $450, which will I wonder if it's going to be less likely to be the case once this digital only one comes out, or if we're going to see the digital only one drop to around $400. And then, not as a permanent thing, but as like a pretty frequent price drop, or sale rather. And then we still see the disc ones come in around $450. Either way, it feels like, we're at a time where like everybody's deciding not to drop prices. Meanwhile, like everybody's not making a lot of money and everything else in their lives is getting more expensive. Like I don't get how these companies can get away with this for so long, especially Microsoft, who's struggling a lot more in the market than everybody else. All right, Dominic. So to close out this show, new Gears of War. As it turns out, new Gears of War is old Gears of War because this is Gears of War E-Day, Emergence Day. You see a much younger Marcus Phoenix being attacked very viscerally
I
by...
thought that was JD, man, when I saw that. I was like, oh, JD looked really like Marcus. So I guess he's wearing
he got that
scarf like his Marcus. Then I saw Dom. I was like...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused. I was like, okay. And yeah, seeing that it was a flash. I mean, this is going to be a flashback series. Well, Take and Bake. I mean, I said flashback, but a prequel. Like I was telling you, because you said like who asked for this, and this was something I wanted a long time ago.
Yeah,
like at when 3 was over or something. Mm-hmm. Like
I don't hate the idea of exploring these events at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, okay, we can go back, do up. I mean, like Judgment, I like the idea of Judgment of going back, and just the game wasn't. I think the game wasn't executed well. Because but now that you have this story that you're telling, and you left a cliffhanger, a big one, which you gave people choices of who to live at the end. How is it that like now you choose to do a freaking prequel? I mean, like, can't you just finish the story first or something, and get somebody, maybe get somebody on another team to do it? Like some people are saying, like, well, they can still work. They're still doing another one. I'm saying, yeah, but how long does it have to be? Like,
so
I feel.
I was just thinking about this. Like, what if this is a small, like, bite-sized game, like a Spider-Man Miles Morales style kind of holdover game to get this team familiar with the next generation technology with Unreal 5, and then let's say 2 years from now, so this is where it's complicated because this wasn't given a date at all, right? So that makes me think like we're a ways off from there. So if we're saying like, okay, not 2025, maybe not even 2026, because a lot of games have been giving 2026 dates. I'll be generous and say 2026 for this. Could they release Gears of War 6 in 2027 and that would be acceptable?
No, they could not. I'm sorry, Daniel. I had dozed off. But it's funny. I heard you, but while I was dreaming, I heard everything you said. No, they couldn't.
I don't know if they had the resources to do that, but in my head, that's the only way that this is like acceptable. Not that they have to answer to me, but for them to go back while they've left such a big cliffhanger, it only makes sense to me that this would be a smaller
in 2019,
project.
Right? 2019.
Yes,
it was right before COVID. I thought it came out the year before. I don't think it was
2019. Yeah, September.
It came out 2019. All right, so we are 5 years. Dude, you can't.
Jeez,
Really?
you're right. It's
Like,
been 5 years. 5 years. Oh, I hate that, Dominic. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Just finish the story. Oh my god. Yeah, this is. I
Yeah.
don't know.
This was
so weird.
bad. This is a bad route to go.
Like maybe or if it's. I'm saying if it's because is there I guess is there enough people that did not like what was happening
Yeah.
in there that they feel like they need to go back to Marcus and something like that because the people they're saying they don't like JD, they don't like I forgot her name, Kate, and yeah.
See, that proves it, Dominic. You can't even remember.
Yeah, you go woke, you go broke. Yeah.
Jesus.
So, but
come on, Gears of War
yeah,
has always been a woke
like,
series,
yo,
Dominic.
I don't know,
the
man.
bromance between Dom and Marcus is undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, I listened. I wanted this years ago, and I want this, but I'm like, you have the story right here. Well, I'm supposed to wait. It's like, and are you? And then if that's the case, are you not? If you're not finishing that story, then just tell me the fucking ending, then please. Just like what? I don't know. Like what is the goal? It's like, do y'all really want to finish that game? Like if you don't, like what was this? Like why? Like why the plan? Like why the plan of going back? That's all I want to know. I just want to know why. Why is that? And if it's because people don't like the Kate thing, there's like the people aren't gonna like it. They're gonna like it more when you do it after this game.
Right.
I don't get that. Yeah.
Yeah, because where does this game leave off? What do you do after this game? Do you bounce back to that and leave people wanting more of this?
Yeah, this probably just made people angry again. It said like, hey, I want to play as Marcus and Dom some more.
What if this is a Metal Gear Solid style, like, reveal where in reality this is just a flashback of Marcus from the modern era, just thinking back to those early days before
people will lose their shit
something.
and burn that place down, Coalition down, for doing that. Yeah, then I just don't know what's the that's the thing. It's like it's not a bad thing, and you're complaining. It's just that because I'm sorry if you put because at some point I'm not going to care. Like some people they think that but it doesn't mean they're still making it. Yo, like this is all between a sequel, like a sequel with that actually has a story. Because like that's what happened. Look with what's the game? The Valve game, Half-Life 2.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore. Like I just don't care.
Yeah,
because I don't care. Like they can announce like, oh, we got the sequel. I mean, I'll be happy, but I'm just at the point where I'm just like, oh, it's not going to end. But I want to end into that story.
Yeah.
With just not
with
care.
very little context to what the cliffhangers actually are at the end of Gears, like shit. Where was I going with it? Wouldn't you have that written with the next game already in mind? I mean, I guess I would feel the same way about Half-Life. It's like, don't you already have that whole story already planned out? And at that point, it's just executing on making the game engine.
Yeah.
Or run in the engine or whatever,
Yeah.
Telling that story through gameplay. Like, so yeah, why are we, because it doesn't feel like 5 years, but now how are we 5 years out, half a decade from that last game, and you couldn't just make another one of those games? Or is it like the Half-Life problem where it's like, I don't feel like we can just make another one of those games. We have to innovate. And I think that was
I don't know.
Valve's biggest problem.
They sure didn't try to innovate with the last two. I think they might as well just ride it out.
Well, I mean, they tried like the open world stuff in the last one, but at the same time,
I wouldn't call that innovation. That was just something different.
Yeah, evolution.
Like Half-Life, man. That did shit,
yeah.
yo.
No,
like
absolutely.
That, yeah.
The physics systems and all that stuff.
the Gears, and the first Gears, I think is probably like, really established some stuff.
But that's the thing is like, we're not going to see any sort of innovation in Gears of War Emergence Day. So like, if you're afraid of just giving us the same gameplay, then why wouldn't you just give us the same gameplay and finish that story?
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know. I don't know what the plan is behind that. It's like, it's weird. It's like, it's a good thing. Like, a lot of people like giving a call back. It's like, yeah, but it's like, but you didn't finish what you started too. It's like, what? Yeah. Like, why'd you? What's the deal here? It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
like, can you do like a flashback segment thing with E-Day and still have another part of the game be the current? You know, like maybe a thing with a mesh, like you go back like with Dom and
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe this is like a Metal Gear Solid level twist of like, hey, Emergence Day, but like, well, it's just called E-Day. It's not even called Emergence Day. So like maybe there's two different emergences, Dominic.
Yeah, I hope so, Dad. I really do. I really do hope that's the case. Because we don't even know when this game comes out. And it's just like, well, then what the hell the other 6 is going to come out then?
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, best case scenario, if this is like a full game by itself, has to be 2026 for this game, 2027 for 6. And that's unrealistic.
Yeah. That's like if they have a big enough team where they were working on both at the same time. Or some team, I mean, because I feel like that would be news. Like somebody, that would be Get Out.
Yeah.
That, this is, they hire some more people, a coalition, doing.
And in fact, all they've done is fire people based on what we've seen. And Coalition seemed to be one of the companies that not got gutted, but got hit pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a weird move. Very weird move.
So, overall, what'd you think of this showcase, Dominic?
I mean, overall, it was okay. I mean, it's okay showcase. I know I saw somebody say this is the best Xbox showcase, and it probably is. If you just go by showcases,
yeah,
like maybe it is. I don't know. I thought last year was pretty good. The dates, not having dates for certain games.
Mm-hmm.
Not feeling that, especially the ones. I mean, the ones for this year. That's really telling. And then next year, I'm like, okay, you may not have a date, but can you at least say spring? Or fall? Say, darn, is it really that?
They learned their lesson from the last time they said that all these games are coming out in the next 12 months, Dominic. They're like, we're just not gonna put dates on anything.
Yeah. But yeah, overall the show was overall I think it was a good show. Like it shows like what's coming, and what's coming I think it's pretty good. Like Doom,
they got a pretty good diverse catalog too.
Yeah. I'm happy about Evolve coming this year. And Indiana Jones will be coming this year.
Allegedly.
And then Fable 2025 it says. So I mean, at least I know it's coming next year. I mean, Perfect Dark Perfect Dark didn't have a year, right?
No.
Yeah, nothing. See that's a little, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they try to show some gameplay, but it's like, darn man, give us a
convince
time.
Me this is real.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's still not. Yeah, because it still can be. Games have got canceled and so we'll see. We'll see. But overall, it was all right. Like I'm not like super like excited or anything about anything because the game I really wanted was Gears and 6, and they left me feeling confused. After that, like, because I'm like, yeah, it's nice to go back and do E-Day, but this is something I would probably have wanted when Xbox One came out, like if we did this right after the remake of 1,
before
on Xbox
you started
One,
your new series.
yeah, you did this callback game. It's like, hey, we did a remake of 1, and now we're doing the E-Day with Dom and them, and now we're going to go ahead and say, okay, now we're continuing the story of...
We're going to try and contextualize Judgment and make you think it's a better game than it was.
But, man, y'all just... like, I wouldn't mind this...
This feels like a Hail Mary. Like, oh, we screwed up. Oh, we need something.
Back in the day, when we used to have, like, a sequel could come out 2 years in between. Or something like that. I wouldn't mind this happening. Like, I'd be like, okay, say they're doing this, and then we get the sequel after this one. It'd be like another 2 years, but... hey, this is cool. This is a cool holdover anyway. I mean, if this is the game they chose, I mean, this is cool. It's just going back in the past. Like the way game production used to be, where it can take, or sometimes a year later. I mean, it all depends how they go. But you don't get that anymore. You don't get sequels.
Let's get some of these Call of Duty teams on Gears of War, Dominic.
What do you say? Get some of what?
Call of Duty teams on Gears of War.
Yeah. That's what I would want. I mean, I just want the game. I just want to listen. At this point, I want that game. I don't care if it can be a shit game. That's what the story. I want an ending. Because I mean, this news just kind of killed it for me.
Yeah.
To a point where like I don't even care anymore. Because I really thought this was going to be 6. Like I don't even care. I just want the story ending because I actually liked it. I actually liked the story. Like the game overall. Like 4 was like meaty. It was all right. It was better than Judgment, but it was like mediocre. But I did like the idea of like you learning more about the Locusts, and I was like, I like that, and I like that from 5, and then 5 was it was better, and I was like, okay, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, disappointing. Darn. So I possibly could get another Halo before I get 6.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with the Halo thing though. See, I don't even know what they those guys 343. Like, what are they even? Is there even a plan to do another Halo? I'm wondering. Or I mean, I'm sure there was a plan, but is that plan still a thing today?
Right. Yeah.
Because honestly, I mean, I'm okay with that series ending, or like you're just going away from Master Chief or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how that succeeded with ODST and Reach. You know,
definitely Reach. Like Reach was really good. The last hit, yeah, I really like that story wise.
Yeah, but like the culmination of all this is kind of why I came out of the show pretty down on it, because it's like you said, we didn't get dates on anything. It was a lot of CG trailers for things that we've seen CG trailers for in the past. And I think I'm just getting like Microsoft fatigue, where we've been doing this for so many years now, where we get all these promises of these big games. They show them off. They maybe occasionally give a date or they don't. And then we're stuck here 3 years later getting another CG trailer just to remind us that it still exists. And their inability to actually produce games and get them out the door has been pretty telling to me, especially in the wake of all these layoffs and whatnot. It's like, what's going on over there? I'm not entirely convinced that Phil Spencer and Matt Booty and Sarah Bond have the leadership to get this done. I mean, they had the leadership to get a deal closed. You know, I'm sure Phil Spencer is proud of the fact that they were able to acquire Activision with as few, concessions as they had to make. And like, good for him on that. But like, you can own that studio and then never put out a game. And I think that's a failing. That doesn't look so good on the legacy. And there are a lot of games here to be excited about, and I am. But it's hard to have that realization, or that have it be realized, like in reality, when I don't know if I'm ever going to see some of these games. And it's not necessarily like I'm going to die before these games come out. Like that's hopefully an absurd thought. I mean, even on the extreme cases where we're talking about 5 or 6 years. But if that continues to be the trend, eventually that may be the case for me. You know, on the long-term scale of things, like especially when you put it into perspective, like the last time we saw Gears of War release a game was 5 years ago, and like how quickly that feels like that time has passed. You know, we're talking, let's say 5 years from now. You know, 5 years from now. You know, 5 years from now is I'm in my early to mid 40s. 5 years from then, you know, I'm getting to my late 40s, 50s.
We can't play games anymore. Our hands
exactly. The osteoporosis is kicking in. It's just, it's not even that though. But on the short term, it's just we've been seeing these games so many times, and for them to put a game in front of me that is allegedly coming out this year, and for them still to not be able to lock in a specific date, says to me that these games are going to be coming in hot, and they're going to be adjusting these schedules accordingly, and that's concerning to me. And hopefully from their perspective, they're like, oh, we're not putting dates on it because we don't want to rush anything. We don't want to put any artificial, you know, timelines on people. But you already have. It's got to come out by the end of the year. So, you know, if you're not in a position to say that it can come out by the end of the year, what's a month or two? And I'm sure a month or two is a lot in video game development. But like, then maybe don't do that to yourself. Can we get to the point where it's just a regular thing to show me a game and not give a timeline at all? And then, you know, within 6 months of its release, say it's going to come out in 6 months. But here we are. We're within 6 months. So tell me a date. Yeah, so I think this showing was absolutely stronger than PlayStation's showing. That's without a doubt, not to be all console warsy, but they had a strong showing, but I need results, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, for them. It's like, and like, because like with PlayStation, like, look what they showing, and they're the console leader, and it's like, that's disappointing, because it's like, they can get it. They can get away with that because they lead in sales between the Xbox and them. And I mean, like, if we're just separating them from Nintendo and everything,
they've effectively got nothing to prove, whereas Microsoft does.
Yeah, and I was like, this sucks. I mean, this is bad overall for me as a person who just like games.
Yeah, as a consumer,
that's yeah. It's like, darn, man. So this group over here, I don't see much coming from them now, and then for Microsoft, I just see potential, but I haven't seen anything physically. Yeah,
there's a lot of potential, and that's what makes it even more disappointing, I think. I think Nintendo is in a good place now to have seen what everybody else has to put out. And if they do have a Nintendo Direct this week, if they've got product to produce, I mean, it sounds like they've got at least a couple of games sitting on the shelves ready to go. And I don't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy if that is a thing, Daniel. That story, I hope that's somebody just making up shit.
I mean, if we see the why am I blanking on the series, Dominic? Fire Emblem. If we see that Fire Emblem game that people have been saying has effectively been done for like 2 years now, come out this year, like, I'm not even huge on Fire Emblem, but that's impressive to me. That one, they've been able to put themselves in a position where they can sit on that stuff. I think we talked about that last week, about how as a business maneuver, that's an incredible feat. But also just to be able to be like, yeah, here's a game and it's going to be out. You know, especially if they have a couple of those, and that just is like the complete opposite of what Microsoft is doing right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, but like I was about to say, but like Nintendo, as a consumer, is like for me is that yeah they got some good games, man. They got some fun games out there, but like graphically, I was like, man, I wish the system. I know they're gonna come in a two, but I'm waiting for that to see what that is. But their games don't even. It's like their games can be old as hell and it still won't be on sale. So it's expensive.
Hey,
like,
right now they're doing a sale. All their first party games are $41.99, Dominic.
Yeah, it's like they're expensive. That's how I look at it. It's like the console is not expensive, but their games overall that's expensive.
They're doing the razor blade thing, Dominic.
Yeah, they're too expensive. Like they don't give me any deals really. No. So it's not great all around to me. Like there's a lot of games like. You know what was great? What is great if you afford a PC. If I could afford if I had a nice PC or something, I would be good. I'll be like,
and I think that's why people find the handheld so compelling, because a lot of them, especially right now, well, I shouldn't say a lot of them, Steam's specifically is priced in a way that is, you know, it's trying to get people into that market. Whereas I think the other competitors, you know, some of them are trying to stay in line with Valve, but for the most part, they're taking the more enthusiast route and going, like, especially we're seeing with the Asus ROG Ally X. It's like, oh, okay, you're just trying to make a fancier one for people who hopefully are looking for a little more power. Whereas like the Steam Deck very much feels like it's trying to open up this market and get people that wouldn't necessarily be playing games on a PC or could afford a gaming PC to be able to get into the PC ecosystem. And for obvious reasons, it benefits them to do that. You know, they're selling the hardware potentially at a loss, or at least closer to a loss in the vein of an old style console, so that they can make their money off of the games, because they of course get a cut of every single game that sells through Steam. So it makes sense as to why they would want to get people on their platform. Much in a way that we thought maybe we would see Xbox do. You know, they want people on Game Pass, offer a cheap means for them to access Game Pass. And that's sort of what the S is. But honestly, the S came in at a price that was higher than I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, it really... Wait a minute, the S was... What was the S? $350?
What was the S? It was $100 cheaper than the X, right? But... No. Crud. I don't know. Because the S and the X and the PS5 disc were the same price, right?
Yeah.
And then the PS5 without the disc was $100 cheaper. And the S must have been cheaper than that. So $150
it was cheaper than that, yeah.
Cheaper.
It was $300.
So yeah, like I'm still of the mind that even if it has to be a streaming box, they should have had something that was available for $100 to be able to play these games. Yeah, and it's still not a thing that is available. Obviously, you can stream things if you have a Samsung TV or if you have a PC, but I would have thought they would have had something more direct.
You know what? If they would have had listen, with the Activision deal, the Activision deal would have came out and they just put a lot of their games on Game Pass or something. This would definitely be better. It would make things a little bit better for me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is we went through this whole show and didn't get any sort of.
It would be like, oh, like this is coming, but I got all these games, backlog games. Because
I'm seeing the reality now. Yeah. I'm seeing the benefits in person. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but I'm not,
because I know you coming into this. You were saying
the only
that's
game
what
is
you
Diablo 4.
Yeah. which is wild. You've got such a large back catalog to not.
It's like, oh my god, you can't even put out the new Spyro, the newest Spyro, the newest Crash Bandicoot,
Tony Hawk.
Get like, goodness gracious,
old Call of Duty games.
That's what I'm saying. The old ones, even if you say like, hey, it's just going to be the
ones that are backwards compatible, just the ones that are backwards compatible right now.
Oh yeah, because they can still be played online, right?
Yeah, as long as the servers aren't broken. Which I thought I had heard that they did. Activision before this deal had done a lot of that work to clean up some of that mess.
Yeah, then do that. Goodness gracious! Like, oh my god! Like, it would be a good holdover. The games.
But to not see any tangible benefits from that deal so far is shocking.
Like now, I don't care about the deal. like people were just pissed off because saying like competition.
Yeah.
Which I knew it wasn't. I knew that wasn't the thing. I was like, I didn't think Xbox was just gonna it's gonna be a monopoly. So what are you fucking talking about? Like how? Like you really tell me how you really saw Xbox monopolizing the whole thing just with Activision?
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about? And so, but the thing is, I just wanted to be able to play those games on Game Pass. That's why I wanted the deal. I wanted it for Game Pass.
100%.
Because it really don't matter. Like it's not that I'm saying, oh, I wish it didn't have the deal. It just would be no different if Activision would just buy themselves. It means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me. Because it's not. I mean, it's not bad for me that they got Activision. Really, it just. Well, the only good thing is I did get I got Diablo 4. I didn't have to pay for Diablo 4. I mean, that's still a plus technically, without because Activision was going to give me Diablo 4 for free.
Yeah.
So that's the plus. But I mean, like the deal itself really doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt us, really. Like people can say how it can hurt the consumer. It doesn't. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anybody. Thing is, nothing's happening. That's the problem. No. Problem is nothing happening. Like nothing's bad happening, but nothing is happening at all. Like it's not even giving the games.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the most shocking thing coming off of the show is just to not see any of that. Like, obviously, we got this stupid splash screen of like, this is gonna be Game Pass on every single one of the games. Like this thing should have been half the length that it was if you cut out all that stuff. I wish that
when they do that shit, Daniel, like they just say this. For these games,
yes, this section of the show, games, all of these will be Game Pass. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, for it can stop confusing people. Like, okay, because after a while, I'm just seeing it and seeing it. I'm not really putting together.
No, now, not internalizing it at all.
I gotta go back and look to say, okay, which one's going to come to Game Pass? Yeah, that's why I got confused with freaking Yakuza Like a Dragon too.
Yep,
I thought that shit was definitely coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Up there waiting, but I saw the date came out, and I was like, oh, it must not. What time does it come on Game Pass then? And then I was like, maybe the time it'll come on, and then I realized it wasn't, and I was like, oh shit, those fuckers did it. They confused me.
Yeah. All right, Dominic. So that was the Xbox show. That happened.
Hey, let's take a break before we get to this because we were on that pretty long.
I gotcha.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Ubisoft one, right?
Yep.
All right, Ubisoft Forward. All right, and we're back. So now we're gonna talk about Ubisoft Forward, man. So what happened on this show?
Yeah, so they kicked off with an extended look at Star Wars Outlaws. It looks pretty much exactly like what we've seen in the past. This was
at a location, wasn't it?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I mean, I saw them on stage, so was it like a pre-recorded place they were at?
It may have been. I mean, that's what Xbox did because they had a couple little interstitials with people, with Phil Spencer and Matt
Booty. but they did their thing like they always do, where they bring everybody out at the end.
Yeah.
and what's his name? The Ubisoft lead guy.
Jens Gimon.
Yeah, he came out. He's been doing it.
Nope. He's like, I
doing.
totally haven't been running a company with all full work environments. We're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that he's still. Usually, I'm looking for a turnover.
He's
like
a narcissist, Dominic. Can't keep him down. He just still wants to be there no matter what.
I mean, darn, but Marcel Ansel is gone.
Yeah, he is.
I said Ansel. Ansel.
He was the sacrificial lamb. He was like, once I get rid of this guy, I can be here whenever I want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm surprised that you would stay there with all stuff. All right, so, okay, well, so what we got here?
Yeah, so we, like I said, kicked off with Star Wars Outlaws. There was a very extended look at this game, quite a bit of gameplay. It looks pretty much exactly like we would expect it to have looked from all of our previous, gameplay features on it. So did you see anything new or different that you were excited about, or still feeling the same way about it? What do you think?
I mean, the way I felt about it, I was really interested in the game. When I did see some how the game plays, it feels more like an Uncharted like thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, like the climbing stuff, like some
little
things
on
like yellow
rails.
Yeah, it really did. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like Jedi Order.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, it feels more like it's more closer to an Uncharted than even like in Assassin's Creed. The openness of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it does feel a little bit on rails, which is fine. Like sometimes you want a game to play like that in a way. Like sometimes I do. I don't want all games to be like that.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
I think that's what the problem I had with some of the Sony games. That they're all kind of samey, with their basically the on rails kind of stuff. Even though Horizon wasn't on rails, the other stuff to do wasn't really much interesting. That I probably wished it was on rails.
Yeah. A little more focused, maybe.
Yeah, so that it's and I was hoping a little bit more from than that though. That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking, I mean, you do have it, you can do the ship battle stuff, but it's not. I was hoping like, hey, you go on this planet, you can go all these different places and things of that nature and look at stuff. But I don't know if that's going to be the game. That's what it is, and you know what? That could turn out to be just fine. Also, just not what I was expecting. Totally. It's like, oh, okay. It's almost like the Sony games, and that's. I mean, it's good, but I'm not excited like I was. I mean, not that I was actually. I was think I was ever really excited, but it doesn't really make me like really excited either. So, what you feel? How you feel about it?
I think I'm all for it. Like you said, it feels a little Uncharted-y, which I'm more inclined to like, I think, than you are. Obviously, the Jedi stuff seems cool to me. I'd really like to get around to finishing the first game and playing the second one. But yeah, I just hope it's not too Ubisofty or, modern Ubisofty, where it's, just way too much. Like they didn't need to do all this. I hope it's a little more curated. And that's why I am a little more excited about it being a little more Uncharted looking, because it maybe keep it on rails a little more, keep it a little more edited and not so just wide and unnecessary. It looks good. The gameplay seems pretty solid. Just hoping it ends up being an interesting story.
Yeah. And this is supposed to take place during like what time?
I think it's during like early New Hope, maybe a little before then even. Because Jabba's around, Han Solo's around,
Okay,
Lando.
so it's the early. Okay, so it's like the early part of the original Star Wars.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I find it curious that they chose this new character, when I was kind of hoping they choose that, like that one I told you, that doctor, forgot her name. Yeah, because that's a good. I mean, from the comics I read of her, man, that's pretty good.
No,
It's
I've
pretty
definitely
good.
seen online everybody's opinion of that stuff has been pretty high. So, yeah, it is a little surprising that they just kind of went completely new, especially with how risk adverse these companies are. But
Yeah, so now it's like you have to that this is this is going to be canon most likely. So it's like, oh, another added thing, and that's the whole thing with the canon stuff. With when you deal with canon and current, like I would have been okay with her in the Star Wars, but another time,
yeah,
like a time, because it's just that it's just so much. It's like you're putting now with what is like with the Luke Skywalker, the Skywalker saga. It's like you put so much, like you're going to make mistakes because that's what happens when you put like so much just within like this thing. It's like, hey, this person met this person, but this person like it's like, come on.
now it's conflicting information, and the internet is very angry.
Yeah, the whole thing is that Star Wars universe, not just Luke, the Skywalker universe.
Yeah.
I just don't get why nobody's taking that. I wouldn't even call it a risk really anymore. So like they did it. BioWare did that shit like 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
They went out. They say, okay, we're going to go so far in the past, so we don't really mess with anything with what Lucas was doing. And I was like, dude, y'all can do this, man. I'm sure. Yeah, I think Disney. Yeah, I don't think Disney ever said no. I think nobody's really taking a chance.
Yeah. No, I mean Disney's in fact doing more of that. It feels like than any of the video games are nowadays with the television shows.
Yeah.
So. All right, Dominic, after that was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. They showed off a quick teaser for the Mask of Darkness DLC, which is their first story DLC that's coming out in September, as well as...
Oh, shucks. Hold on real quick, man.
So they talked about the Mask of Darkness single-player story DLC that's coming in September. They also talked about the stuff that's coming out more recent, or more sooner, which is some free DLC, some trials, some boss battle stuff, some free costumes. So that stuff's cool. I need to get back into that game.
Did you finish it?
No.
Oh.
I'm still, I think I'm probably like a third of the way through, I think. Just think I ended up playing something else and kind of falling away from it, but it is a very good game, and I would like to get back to it. It was just one of those things, and I feel like it happens a lot with me, especially with like a Metroidvania game, where it's like I just get to a point where I'm struggling with like a boss, and unless I keep just going at it. This one especially is a little bit different, though, because they gave me like the ability to, I think, go to different boss areas. And I don't know if I just chose the wrong one or the wrong one for my skill set. And the other one, if I had gone to that, would be a little bit easier. But maybe that's exactly why I need to go back and check it out a little more. After that was a short teaser trailer for Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, saying it's coming in 2026. No new footage, nothing of any substance whatsoever. That was extremely disappointing.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't show anything.
To me, that effectively means that they are just starting development on that game right now, or redevelopment, I guess. Yeah, for that to be such an awesome surprise that they were working on a Sands of Time remake, only to see what it looked like, and then now here we are, what feels like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later after the announcement of that thing.
It's gonna be a new quadruple A game, just like Skull and Bones.
Just like Skull and Bones, which they did mention Skull and Bones in this. I'm not going to mention Skull and Bones in this because it's Skull and Bones. Like, there were a couple of things that they mentioned that it's just like updates and new content.
Yeah, you get to fight this big pirate ship out there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. After that was Anno 1117 Pax Romana. That's coming out in 2025. So
yeah, that is Civ-like. Okay. Yeah, is that turn based or real time?
I think it is turn based.
Oh, so it is definitely a Civ competitor.
Yeah, that's how I always looked at it. But let me see what Anno says.
That's just another one of the games you see.
No, it's real time. Sorry.
Oh, it's real time.
Yeah,
so it is a little different.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. So okay, you could. I mean, it's still a competitor in that kind of space, but it's like at least there is a difference. Like there's a huge that's a huge difference.
This is more of an aura competitor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Actually, I don't even remember what aura is. If it's real time or if it's turn based.
I'm trying to remember what that is.
It's Microsoft's other.
It's a Manor Lords.
It's a Manor Lords. Exactly. After that, they had a quick. Sorry.
Well, Manor Lords is that they're that trying to compete. With
exactly. After that,
hold on real quick, man. I'm sorry.
Sure. All right. Next up after that, Dominic, was a quick little montage that had not Forza Motorsport, whatever they're called, the Crew 2 Motorfest or whatever.
And the Crew 1 is that the one that shut down?
That's the one that shut down. Yeah. So Motorfest, they've got a update for that. Also, For Honor, Dominic, like they're still working on For Honor. God bless them.
Yeah, I saw that, Daniel, and I was very confused. I was just thinking, like, are they showing like greatest hits or something, like what they had? And I was like, wow, they still working on that game. Good for him.
Yep.
I didn't see the man with the cane though.
Nah,
I don't know.
They need to bring him back. He was the crux of the entire series. All right, Dominic, and then the last.
Yeah, he just whacking him with the cane. So keep working on this game.
The last half of this show was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Basically, we already talked about that as part of the Xbox, thing that's coming out later this year, and it looks great. I mean, they showed gameplay stuff from both the samurai and the ninja perspectives.
Looks great. You're just too woke, Daniel.
What's that?
You say whatever, man. Say it don't look great. It's too woke.
It's too woke, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There appeared to be like armor.
That's the only reason you like it, because it's woke. It's the same as the other games.
Yeah. Yeah. The armor damage stuff looked pretty cool. Like as you were beating up enemies, there was armor like breaking apart and falling off of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
And then in like the cutscene, it looked like even your armor showed some effects and some like slices and stuff. So yeah, I mean that game is exciting to me in a way that series has not been in quite a while. So yeah, but that was the Ubisoft Forward. I mean, nothing huge, nothing crazy, nothing really kind of unknown outside of, I guess, Anno 1117, which maybe that's just not a space that I find myself in. So maybe it's been well known that was coming and we've just not seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they all just run together for me, man.
Yeah. But no Beyond Good and Evil 2, nothing like that.
Yeah, no Splinter Cell.
No, yeah. Like, I guess I didn't even think about that, even though going into it, of course, I'm hopeful.
You can't get angry, Daniel, because you didn't remember.
Nah.
But you have asked for that, like, though.
Yeah, no, I would love to see a new Splinter Cell, but I don't necessarily believe that they're going to make one. So I've kind of just set my expectations to be more surprised if it happens than ever expecting it necessarily.
What other game? They announced no new Rayman game, right? Or no new Rabbids?
No new Rayman, no Rabbids. No, nothing like that.
No, that'll be announced probably when the Switch 2 come out. They
they gotta have a launch title for that one.
It's going to be all the rabbits together. The rabbits collection. That's all.
Don't give them ideas, Dominic. That'd be too easy for them. They're just like, yeah, we're just putting out all the games together. Here you go. But yeah, that was Ubisoft Forward. Relatively underwhelming. Nothing bad, really. Just them going in depth with the games that we already knew about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. I mean, because that's the only thing is expecting like, hey, can they get announced at Assassin's Creed? That's probably the only thing like people were disappointed with.
Yeah.
Or some people were disappointed like with Star Wars because of they wanted something more.
Yeah, I didn't see enough Just Dance content, Dominic. That's what I'm mad about.
I didn't see any at all. I must have fast forwarded through it.
No, you're right. There wasn't any at all, but that's not enough for me.
Oh.
It's just not enough. I need a panda dancing on stage with Yves Guillemot telling me that I'm sure his company's doing fine.
This is Just Dance. Does it come out every year?
For quite a while, it was coming out every year. I don't know that it's been that same way frequently, but it's still been like at least every other year. Because I always wanted
the songs, like what songs they use, and I guess they mix it with like past songs, but then it's like, yeah, I mean, you always gonna have new songs and stuff coming out,
yeah.
But it's also about licensing and things of that nature, and you got to have enough songs to have up there because for how many Just Dance they have. They probably have a lot of old songs up there too, so it's like, what's the what catalog? What songs we need to put up there now?
Yep, exactly. All right, Dominic. So that is it for the big press conferences. Obviously, as we talked about.
Is it like a Just Dance like K-pop?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if maybe that's just Dance. Maybe there's enough K-pop in there already. Some BTS.
Oh, okay.
And some whatever else. But yeah. Was there anything from the ancillary kind of events, the small indie ones, that really stuck out to you? There were a couple of games that you brought to my attention.
Yeah, but I
pretty cool.
Yep, and they stayed at my attention for just that long.
Well, like there's the Naughty Geese one that you were telling me about, and I've still got the Steam page open here. And that looks really cool because it's silly, like Naughty Geese. It feels kind of like, what are they doing here? But it looks like it's just kind of like a Yoshi's Island, like, because you're playing as this like biker goose, and he's got these Geeslings. What did you say?
I would say goslings.
Goslings.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It is. It's goslings. Yeah, because here it is.
Holy shit.
Yep. And he's basically using them like eggs. Like you can throw them at different targets, and you're collecting, words and stuff like that. And that looked really cool. So that is, currently no release date, but is 2025 and on Steam for you to wish list if you see fit. Yeah, and like you, there is the Steam Next Fest going on, so I went on this morning and grabbed up a couple of games that I'm interested in playing. So hopefully I can make some time to check them out. Let's see. Which ones did I grab? I got the Altars because, that's been a pretty big game. I was surprised that has a demo on there. And that's the one where it's like 50 million of the same guy made by the Frostpunk people.
Oh, okay.
The Fallout Vault thing. And also, thank goodness You're Here has a demo. That weird, super weird looking game.
Okay, what's that game called again?
Which one?
The one you just said at the Frostpunk people.
The Altars.
The Altars. I gotta find where that is.
So
they got a demo out. Are these like time demos where there's like, hey, they're going away after Next Fest?
I'm not totally sure, so I'm gonna try and play these as soon as possible.
No, I'm gonna put them up here, dang, and then I'm just gonna complain when they go away.
Yep, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, I always hate when they're timed like that, especially if you can download them and not play them past that time too. It's one thing if you can download them and play them even if the like access to them is gone, but yeah. All right, let's see. So if there wasn't anything else, Dominic, I think next week will probably be light. Besides maybe a Nintendo Direct, I'm gonna try and spend some time looking over these other smaller shows and see if there's anything that stands out to me. And then maybe we can talk about them as well. But for now, we'll get into the new releases. First up, we have V-Rising.
Does Metal Slug's Tactics have a
yes
demo?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because I'm curious to see how you feel about that. Because
I will add that to my list.
Because you because you were you're into what's that game?
Yeah.
Like Advance Wars, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Tactics.
Not Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Slug Tactics. I did start to type Metal Gear though. All right. Yes, I'll grab that. New releases, V-Rising, that's on PS5. That is the Vampire Survivors like basically.
Yeah, that's real popular.
Yeah. I mean, they chose them to have Castlevania stuff over Vampire Survivors, so.
Yeah, I know.
It is what it is, I guess.
But, I mean, the action that I see looks good, and I'm just like, man, there just was a survival stuff in there, man. Maybe I'll like it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I will like it, but I just don't want to do that, because it seems like every time I try, because look, I look at Ark, and I can't even get off the damn beach in that game because of the shit I gotta do. When I see all the stuff that's on the screen of Ark, it's so overwhelming, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I just want to go, like, I thought it was like supposed to be at least like a Fallout or something, man. This is too complicated. I was like, this is not what I want. I just want to simply go out there, get a dinosaur, fight some dinosaurs, tame one, and then ride on his back.
Exactly. All right, we next have Monster Hunter Stories out on PC, Nintendo Switch, and PS4, and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin on PS4. These are your more story-oriented Monster Hunter games usually
like
coming
games.
out on
I'm curious. Would I like these games?
Yeah. I wonder how well they transition to these systems, since they're, like the DS ones. They're the handheld ones usually.
It has 3D. Now, when they say 3D, this mean like 3-dimensional, like the game, or is this game in like? No, because it would say VR. It would say VR.
Yeah,
but wait a minute, hold up. But what 3D glasses? Well, like, can you? I mean, I know it was, of course, on the 3DS.
Yeah.
3D. Are they saying that if I have this put on a 3D TV, can I see it, or 3D monitor?
Where are you seeing
Is
that?
Is it popping up? Oh, and I'm Steam, where it has the tags.
Yeah.
It has 3D.
Steam. Let's see.
I'm going to complain. To them if it's not 3D.
Let's see what else comes up when I click on 3D.
I see Timberborn.
Yeah, it feels like they just mean there are 3 dimensions. Because they've got like Kingdom Hearts on here. They've got another Crab's Treasure.
That's horrible.
So,
like,
yeah, I think they're just like, here you go. It's a 3D thing. Yeah, that would be funny though if you could play it like with your VR headset as 3D, like the movies.
The Kingdom Hearts games are available on Steam now.
Yeah.
And you said Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance? You already said that?
No, that's what's next. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I don't know what makes that different from anything else, Dominic.
I don't know. It's because this is for Vengeance. In Vengeance. You weren't doing that before, I guess.
I guess I was not. Let's see.
You didn't have a
quite
purpose.
a few
This game wasn't a
differences
purpose.
between the story and the canon of creation and canon of vengeance. Oh, there's different routes you can go in Shin Megami Tensei, apparently. Original game, you get VV, jump straight into the canon of vengeance. That's where the story actually differs and the human characters are usable. The COC will stay the same from what we said, minus gameplay improvements. Interesting. Yeah, those games, I have no interest in them whatsoever. Like even less so than Persona, I feel like I am interested in Shin Megami Tensei.
That's like, yeah. Well, I really didn't have no interest in Shin Megami Tensei, and the only reason I have just a little interest is because of Persona. Because I'm curious, like, yeah, what's make these games good?
Although
like,
the character design of this character that I'm seeing right now, I may be more interested in.
Well, is it a naked man or something?
Yeah, yes, it's a naked man. All right, Dominic. Anything else for the people?
Nah, but they have that. They have those monsters. Like I said, they have the giant penis monster in freaking Persona, which I just.
There appear to be a lot of near naked women in this game. Like this enemy that you're fighting just has like blue over her, and then is just holding one of her breasts.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's some. I mean, not as many as the woman, no, but there are some men there, but they're all effeminate men. That's what. It's really telling. That's all I'm saying.
Poor mermaid who has no clothes on and setting her on fire. Man, this game is rough, Dominic. No wonder anime lovers love this game.
Yeah,
has all the things. This lady's got a mask like Midna from Zelda and just has her boobs out. So,
is that a monster or that's a character?
She's part of a cutscene. I think she might be like the main bad lady, if there is such a thing. But
there are bad ladies, Daniel.
There's no such thing as a bad lady, Dominic. That's what I've been told in my life. No such thing as a bad lady. Except this lady. She's bad and deserves a spanking or whatever. All right, Dominic. Anything else for the people this week?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Music, whatever they do thing. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.